Welcome back to the party, everybody. How is it going? How is it going? I am your host, Lutch, aka TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. First, I want to give a shout out to the replay gang. If you missed the party we are about to have, guarantee it's a good time, and you are definitely going to enjoy this video, but you would have a lot more fun if you were here live for the party. So just make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, so every time I go live, you will be right here, and we can party together just like Lil Toes in the building. Revolvement's also here. What is going on, guys? And then one more real quick thing before we begin. I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of the stream, my6shirt.com. Got a whole bunch of different great designs that you can pick up, including the one and only TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. So today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. We are gonna be talking about some drama. So a couple things have happened in the past 2 days, really, and I figured I wanted to share with you guys. So there's two different things, and let's just get into it. So you guys may remember our friend Anirudh, who was recently on a stream with me talking about, according to him, that plastic surgery is worse than gender transformation stuff. And I definitely recommend going to check that out. Just a little reminder, this is one of the shorts from that. Let me see if I can. This is one of the shorts from that stream, in case you missed it.
Who has ever crashed a car, at least passed it.
As always, if there is no sound, please do let me know.
Driver's license test. So does that mean that we shouldn't trust people who pass driver's license tests to drive because they are responsible for 99% of crashes? Or do we understand that?
Absolutely. You should not trust anybody being able to drive. You should always assume that everybody else on the road does not know how to drive. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, we should assume that we should make ourselves better, obviously. But should we not let people drive or should we do away with licenses because, well, people are going to crash with license, people are going to crash without licenses? Or do you believe that putting licenses into place would reduce the number of car crashes we have?
I do believe licenses decrease the number of crashes. However,
that's an institution. We're putting our trust in an institution.
If you were able to just go and get a license because you said you felt like you were good enough to drive and they were giving out licenses on that basis, then I would say, why even bother with the licenses?
Everyone.
So that just a quick reminder, that was what was going on there, and the basis of that conversation was a TikTok that had gone around from a plastic surgeon who took a picture of the girl from Stranger Things, not the main character, but like the older sister. And as a plastic surgeon, she was just saying, oh, I do a little bit of this, I do a little bit of that, and I definitely want to get into there. And then she has a photoshopped version of what the girl would look like afterwards. And Anirudh and I had a similar type of reaction, like, wow, there is no way you ate that whole thing already, Morty. Holy crap. I just gave him one of these things. Look at the size of this, and he's back already. There is no way you ate that already. You're not getting another one, at least not right away. Anyway, and so, yeah, his position was that, the plastic surgery is so much worse than, pushing the idea of gender transformation, kids taking puberty blockers, all of that stuff. That was that whole conversation. Again, I definitely suggest you go check it out. I thought it was a very interesting conversation. But then I came across an article a couple days after, and I tweeted about it. So the tweet itself, or let's say the article said from the Daily Mail, leaked files show pediatricians angry with the Academy's trans policy. And we can go into it a little bit, but basically they were saying, like, This isn't, this isn't what we this isn't doing science the way it's supposed to be done, long story short. And so I just tweeted, but they have licenses, right? So it's all fine. I'm just saying that the naivete of assuming that having a license means that you can't mess up whatever you have the license for is silly. And Anna Root agrees with that from the clip that I just showed you. He said that everybody who's ever been in a car accident has had a license. Now, of course, a bunch of people have commented on that thing. Will say, actually, I crashed my car without a license, but we'll give him that point. So I just want to show him, like, hey, look, it's not as clear cut as that. It's not as simple as just, what they have licenses, and so they know everything that's right. So we're not going to read the whole thing, but I just wanted to show you the piece that was important to me. Again, it's an exclusive leak file. Leak files expose how U.S. pediatricians accuse their own professional body of pushing a harmful drug. A harmful drugs first approach on trans teens, and of deliberately blocking moves to change the rules. So again, my position was that just because there's a license just doesn't mean that it is inherently, all Gucci. People with licenses can do messed up stuff. Hey, we got JH in the building. Welcome back. I know you were there for that one, JH. Yeah. So he, I remember, little toes. We went over that last time. I think it was something like 30% of all humans are descendants of Genghis Khan. But all right, I'm giving you one more because I know you're here. You're gonna do this all night. But all right, you guys watch him and see if you can see him. Oh, he didn't. I know he didn't. It's sitting on the couch. Go get the other one. Crazy dog. Anyway, my point in posting this, and hey, Revolvement's back. What's up, buddy? What's up? So my point in sharing this article, so let's read a little bit of it. The main part that I wanted to get to was, the angry. I forget what AAP is, but the whatever. So the angry AAP members say that the Academy changed its rules to block a member-drafted resolution to launch a policy review. Policy review meaning, hey, is what we're doing what we should be doing? Let's continue doing the right thing if so, and if not, then we should change it. A policy review, making sure we're doing the right thing. But they blocked that. It led to the review being sidelined at the Academy's leadership conference, which ended in Chicago, blah, blah, blah. Instead, members took the unusual step of airing their concerns in the comments section for a separate resolution in the AAP's member-only website. So again, this type of stuff, it's not like it's not usual for them to have this type of conversation in what is essentially their Discord server. This is official stuff. They tried to have an official review, but it was sidelined at the conference. So they're going through, and it says in the comments leaked, members said that the Academy was in quote endorsing great harm, that its care package for trans identifying teens was based on scant and shoddy evidence, and that doling out drugs and hormones was unsafe and unsustainable. And then it and then it shows the documents here. Now again, my point in bringing this up to Twitter at all was not to say ha I'm right, everybody else is wrong, being trans is terrible if you're trans. That was not ever what I was trying to say. But if you take a look at how Anna Rood responded, because I posted that tweet, and then because he and I had just had a conversation on it, I figured, this is relevant to him. So, you can see right here. So I have the tweet, and then I just, tagged him to say, hey, what do you think of this? His first thing, he starts off by saying, my brother in Christ, please read the article. How do you know I didn't read the article? I did read the article. Everything that I'm saying is supported by what is in the article. You don't even know my perspective yet, and you're already name calling, being arrogant and condescending. And so, it goes on a little more. So only 5 pediatricians out of the 67,000 voted in favor. Oh, let me get you as big as I have for you. Voted in favor of the resolution. That's 0.007%. Blah, 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 blah. There's a greater chance, a greater percentage scientific papers rejecting climate change. And again, if I was making the case that I have scientific grounds to say that whatever it is, the hormone blockers or anything else was directly harmful, then he would be right. But that wasn't my point. Well, so it says my numbers getting worse every day. Let's make a little music. So a heretic is somebody who speaks out against the church. So we have that. We'll get to that in just a little bit, but want to just stick with en route for just a minute here. And he was, so he was assuming that I was trying to say that this is scientific proof that being trans is wrong or something along those lines. I don't know, because we weren't able to get into that conversation. So, it's just like, once again, missing the point. I guess you still know everything. And he, he's saying this article made an argument and failed at every opportunity to properly substantiate it. It's meaningless. Again, you don't know. Sorry, you don't know what the point that I am making is. The only way you can use it to support the claim that the medical institutions are responsible is by not reading it and crafting fantasy. Stop implying that I didn't read the article and subsequently calling me stupid. Grow up and have a conversation like a man. The point is that the internal documents suggest exactly what we've all been saying along about the validity of studies. That is confirmed. And then he goes on to still argue against the straw man. Hey, we got Kluke in the building. What's going on, buddy? Glad to have you here. Just talking a little bit about knowing how to argue with people and not how to argue with people. So you can see again, he's just trying to show why he believes that this article that I showed him and that I just showed you guys does not make it so that being giving hormones to kids is a good thing or whatever his position is, which is not relevant to what I was trying to say. It's just that the science is not settled here. There are people who are trying to make changes. And there are people who don't like those changes. There's people who want to. So for you to act like you have all the answers is simply naive. You're claiming that you know things that are simply not known yet. And so again, I'm still trying. And I said, because it's not a study, it's a reporting of what happened. But I was like, just cope by asserting it's meaningless because it's not a study that upends what you think. You'll go far, sadly, and I'm not being facetious. Real life is going to smack you in the face because there is no formula. And then, you're coping, blah, 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 blah. And he said, you cannot rationally sustain any argument. Didn't give me the chance to try. And your best reply is vaguely gesturing at my life experiences. I don't think you care about what's true or practical. I don't care about what's true or practical. This man has, So, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. Negative, JH. I am not. You can always find the Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party. We're actually going to see a little bit of that. That goes on the Talking Shit podcast. They will do that every card. I usually pop in for a little bit, but I can't promise that I'm always going to be there. So I don't think you care about what's true or practical. This man has been on my platform for probably, I would say, around 15 total hours having conversations with me. For you to say that you don't think I care about what's true or practical is a direct insult, because you know that I do. You may disagree with my positions, but don't accuse me of not caring about what's true or practical. I just said, okay, back to the insults. If you think if you think that after speaking to me for so long, that you think that, then you live in a different reality. So, okay, whatever. That would be the end of it. But then I get a DM. Hey, I'll try to be civil about this. Too late, Anirudh. Too late. You cannot start a conversation by insulting people and not understanding what they're saying and then still insulting them further and then say, oh, let's be civil. So I think you need to reevaluate your understanding of epistemology and truth finding. You're not getting anywhere in Twitter fights. I don't really get in Twitter fights. This is more projection of the fact that he is not able to make headway in Twitter conversations because of the way he interacts. I don't fight with people on Twitter. I would much rather you come up and talk here, which is precisely why he and I did that podcast last week, or that stream last week. And it wasn't so easy for him to say how wrong and bigoted I was, because he wasn't behind a screen, and he actually had to speak. He actually had to come with facts instead of just burns. So I was like, you constantly think you understand everything. You are directly arguing a straw man because you are trying to be right rather than look for the truth. And I basically just told him that I tagged him to try to have a civil discussion, and all he does is get butthurt. He said, being right is about changing your position to the correct one in light of new information. And going on. And basically, I just wanted to show that he was not being fair here. He was not being fair. And you don't have to engage with people who are not there in good faith. I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody. I'm willing to have a conversation about pretty much anything. But you have to be an honest interlocutor. You have to be willing to respect the fact that we are both going to have a conversation, that whether we agree or disagree, that I am a human, you are a human, all this basic stuff. And he's unable to do that. And so he, what was it? The last thing, you keep tagging me in articles that either say something completely different from your claim or articles themselves that are poorly written. Again, another reason to actually talk to me instead of just I'm using the article as a jump off point for what I'm saying. If you just read the jump off point, then you don't understand what it is that I'm saying. Yep, Kluke is right. No more tagging people for the sake of having a civil discourse. Silly me. And then you guys are gonna love this. He goes, take it from one of your fans. And I don't know if you can see this, but he commented, he screenshot a comment from Trevin. So despite the fact that Trevin has been blocked on 2 different accounts, still loves my content enough to even though I'm so wrong about everything, bet you're watching right now. What's up, Trevin? And so I didn't even read what he said. He said, you bodied Lutch in that debate yesterday. He was so close, but his feeling get in the way of facts. He's an atheist who gets duped easily by right-wing reactionary rhetoric. He's replaced Catholicism with another dogma. Oh, the projection. I love it. It's so sweet when they think they got you and that you're just telling on yourself. Hey, we got Robbie Privilege in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What does Robbie Privilege say? Agreed. People only want to hear themselves speak. The art of conversation is dead. 100%. That is precisely why I have this channel. It is precisely why I want to bring that back. The ability to simply talk with people who think different things than you. That's it. I don't think that's too much to ask. Hold on a second. Leave it. Go get the fucking toy I gave you. Go. He has one on the couch. He has one on the couch. Can you see it? Where am I? That thing? That log-looking thing? That's one of these. He just wants another one. This dog is so annoying. But yeah, he then quotes my stalker and say, "Oh, you should listen to your fans." Oh, he goes on. So, Andrew, it's unfortunate that many people who claim to be rational objective are just as susceptible to faulty thinking as people they detest. I'm glad you enjoyed the debate. I agree, Trevin. I'm glad I'm glad that you're still enjoying my content, even though you are not able to harass my inbox after every stream, as well as oh man, oh man. And so that's when I just lost it, and I was like, oh my god. And oh yeah, there was another person, Ryan Bedell, who's been on the channel a number of times, also unable to have a conversation without getting angry or using insults. And so Andrew said, even Ryan reached out to me and said he doesn't want to engage with you. It's why he's been silent. Boo fucking who? Boo fucking who? The idea of me being a passionate person who cares about the things that I talk about is not to be liked. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to tell you what I think so that you can tell me what you think, and together we can be smarter. That's it. And I mean, we want to have fun while we're doing it. But after he said this, I was just like, okay, clearly you are not, bringing up, what is it, even if that is true, which I assume it is, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? Now, again, you're just throwing jabs. You are unable to stay on target. And, anything else important here? I was just like, I'm sure there's nuances you could educate me on with the information in this article, but you don't know how to do that. You are as solipsistic as the worst OnlyFans chicks. And trust me, it's not just me who can see that. You don't know how to have see that. You don't know how to have a. Bleh. It's not just me who can see that you don't know how to have a conversation, a discussion like an adult. So I'm going to stop before I get angry. You're right. You win. Bye. And then he's, going over, and I was just like, yep, whatever. And that's the point. You're allowed to do that. There's no like, hey, we got Vincent in the building. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Robbie Privilege says, keep that passion. They didn't like the real Jesus either. Goddamn right. If you see me up on a cross, you're doing it right. And certain people absolutely hate the truth. And the sad thing is, I don't feel like Anna Root is one of those people. He's just too stuck in the notion of understanding things better than me. And so whatever it is, he has to determine that there must be some way that I'm wrong, and then works backwards to figure out what that is. And what did Vincent say? Lunch isn't here to be liked. He's here to be effective. When you don't kiss ass, that rubs people the wrong way. Yeah. I mean, I can't be friends with everybody. So I'm glad that you guys appreciate what I'm doing here, and glad to see y'all. What else? Was there anything else on this? I just thought it would be fun to give a shout out to my friends at the Talking Shit podcast. JH was asking about, thank you, Robbie. JH was asking about the watch party for Saturday, and this is actually relevant to that. So this is where you will find me on Saturdays for the most part. Not every single Saturday, but Dr. Evil Genius will always be there. This is Dr. Evil Genius. This is Mrs. Evil Genius, and this is the Talking Shit podcast, Filthy Casual MMA watch party. And so this is on while we are watching the fights. Obviously, we can't play the fights, but I think the conversation here is relevant, and then it's going to lead us into our next point.
And if you know what's really fucked up, Captain? You should see Anna Rude go after Lutz on Twitter a couple days ago.
So you saw that he and I did a stream a couple days before that, right?
You guys were talking about some shit that I don't really.
So you remember the TikTok where there was a plastic surgeon who took a girl from
arguing over the non-essential medical procedures and shit.
Yeah, there was a TikTok that went viral of a plastic surgeon who took a picture of the girl from Stranger Things, not 11, the sister of Will or whatever. And she was like, she's a plastic surgeon. And she was like, I would do this and I would do that. And then she photoshopped a picture of her. And she was like, this was a finished product. What do you think? And Andrew was... Hold on, I'm just going to speed it up because I obviously just told you this stuff. So I'm going to speed it up till we get to the part that matters. Like, oh, this is so horrible. You're left this fucking thing on people. About it.
We're going to push the trans agenda on kids.
So it's bad. All right. There we go.
To push this type of thing on people, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, but it's okay.
Really?
It's okay to give kids this, that, whatever. So we had a stream about it.
It's okay to push the trans agenda on kids, but it's not okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to stick to the drama, not the issue itself. But
yeah, so that with the Talking Shit podcast, specifically on the Filthy Casual MMA Watch Party, it is meant to be a fun thing to watch the fight. So Dr. Evil Genius doesn't love to get into issues and debates and stuff on during the party. You know, when I do the watch parties here, it's balls to the wall. Let's get into trouble. But Dr. Evil Genius has got his own show.
So that's what the conversation was about. So I read an article that actually was, part of what we were talking about on the stream was how, like, oh, well, these doctors are licensed. So what's the issue? Like, the institutions that are licensing them are being politicized. That is my point, Andrew. And so I sent him an article that suggested that may very well be the case. And finally, we're seeing evidence. And he's like, this is stupid. I'm like,
nobody's actually doing the studies to show the harm that these subjects, because nobody wants to rock the boat, because then you're going to be called an OFO.
And the reason I'm showing you this is because I often will get into situations. I'm a very passionate person, and I'll get into situations where I'll get into an argument or a discussion, and I might go overboard. I might cross the line. I might offend somebody. I might do something. So I just wanted to bring it to Dr. Evil Genius to see, like, yo, both of us, how I can get. What do you think? Jade says he gives me Phil Ivey vibes with his eyes. Phil Ivey. I don't think I know who that is. Vincent said when bro leans his head down, he looks like Anthony Mackie. No, yeah, I can see that. I like that. I can see that.
Exactly. And like,
oh, it was 0.0007%, but that's also the part of the population that's trans. But you're
right. Exactly. That's a lot more than zero, motherfucker. And my point was never to be like, oh,
weird exchange right there. That was weird.
So again, that's just like when we're watching the fight. We're watching the fights as this is going. So if you're interested in that Talking Shit podcast, there is a link to this stream, and you can just subscribe from there in the description.
My point was
like this.
My point with the article was never to say, oh, see, I'm right. It's unequivocally, my position is scientifically backed and distorted. That wasn't the point. But before I could even get there, he was in Jesus Christ, brother. Or no, he said, my friend in Christ.
Yeah, I saw that.
Please come to I don't care how fucking tall you are. Come to my face.
He's like, this is why we mentioned your age and how immature you are. Like, this is why. I'm looking at this and I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be the data, facts and statistics guy, and you're mad emotional. Emotional damage.
Exactly. And then of course in public, he's ready to dunk on anything. And then he DMs me and he's like, yo, let's keep this civil. I'm like, you don't get to fucking throw insults before you know what I'm talking about, and then privately DM me and be like, oh, let's be civil.
So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of context with that. And then we can fast forward a little bit to a little bit later in the watch party, and something happened, guys. Something happened. All right, you ready? So we're moving on from Anirudh. That's what Anirudh did. Anirudh was Anirudh, and you may or may not see him again. He is welcome. Anirudh, you are welcome to come back on this platform. Respect is simply a requirement. I don't hate you. I don't have any ill will towards you. I just don't think that you are an honest person when it comes to having debates. And but if you'd like to change my mind, then you are welcome. Is right, Vincent. We getting into it. Let's do it. So this is where it all started. This is maybe an hour later from where we just left off.
But
So real quick, type a 1 in the chat if you don't know anything at all about UFC, where like I'm gonna have to explain little thing. If you don't know anything at all, if you know a little bit, like if you know who Conor McGregor is, then you know enough for this conversation. If you don't know who Conor McGregor is, put a 1 in the chat.
He was talking about how, Munoz, quit. He didn't want to be in the cage with him. And I was kind of sort of feeling that, but he was like, yeah, I did all this, I did all that. Like the fight didn't even last long enough for anything to happen like you claim it happened. Like, so I'm starting to kind of get tired of Sean O'Malley's talking.
So again, this is referencing I think it was 2 weeks ago, yeah, right? Yeah, you were there, Vomit. You were there. But you don't know what happened since. You don't know what happened since. It's been going off. But yeah, if you guys remember the Sugar Sean O'Malley fight with Pedro Munoz, and it ended. Me too, JH. I love O'Malley. It ended unsurreptitiously from an eye poke that didn't really seem that bad, and that's what Dr. Evil Genius is talking about.
I feel like you're way more of a mark than I am. I feel like you get so much more caught up in the character of the fighters than who they present themselves to be. Who they present themselves to be matters so much more to you, I think, than it does to me.
But for me, I look at same energy with everybody. I keep the same energy with everybody.
But what I'm saying is, like,
when you say words, they represent you. Period.
Right. But that's exactly my point. Is that I can see what Colby Covington did and respect that as what it is.
No respect for that.
Exactly. That's my point.
Zero.
That's my point. Is that Colby is not that guy. Colby is that character.
So again, does anybody not know who Colby Covington is or what his whole deal is? I mean, well, I'll just explain it real quick. He's a fighter. He was a skilled fighter, but he wasn't getting a lot of media attention. So when he was in Brazil, he won a fight, and he just called all of Brazil like dirty animals, and he took on this what they call a heel turn. And so he developed this character that was super MAGA, and I know you do, Obama, and I know you know it well. But just in case anybody doesn't. And he just took up this mantle of a character who was, super into MAGA and against Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. JH says Colby is for sure a character, not his real person. Know how to work it for money. Exactly. And so that's what I was saying to Dr. Evil, that he's a mark in the sense that the fighter, being Colby Covington, can play this character, and someone like Dr. Evil Genius will judge him based on that character. Whereas, someone like myself is more likely to look at it from a business perspective and see, okay, I see that, like JH is saying, that what you're doing is for the money, it's for entertainment, it's not real. And hey, we got Darshawn McAway in the building. He is the topic of the rest of the night. If we're lucky, we might get to hear from him. So everybody put Darshawn if you want to in the chat, if you want to see him later. His channel is linked in the description as well. But yeah, that's all I was talking about, is that I find it a little bit easier to, watch the sport as just a sport, and not really see it as like this WWE, like, oh, what did they, I get into the drama of it because it's fun, but I don't really see it any further than that.
And I can you're marked out and not liking him because of the character, whereas what you're free to do.
No. I don't have a problem.
One second.
Okay.
I just wanted to hear this part. Go ahead. Let's go, Mexicana.
My thing is
that's another race. That's another race where they're either fucking beautiful or fucking trolls.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree? Mexican women are either 10s or 1s.
For me, if it's WWE and it's sports entertainment, and we know that people are playing characters, then that's one thing, right? But he tried to make that as if
I understand your position.
Him and his views as a man, and then I didn't like that, but then I could respect it if that's you. But then when you're going back with it, like, oh no, I just did that to get paid. I have a lot. I just can't respect it. I can't.
That is my point. That is exactly what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying to you. That stuff matters to you as a fact of it. I understand. I can see that he's just doing. I'm not saying you don't understand, but I'm just saying I see it as he's just doing his job to entertain people. I am entertained,
I'm not
and he's a
gonna
good fighter. And that's the end of it.
people with racism and xenophobia and all
What
this
racism?
stuff.
What racism?
That's not.
What racism? What racism?
A lot of the shit that he said, especially going into the fight
Such
with
as?
Ron Woodley. Oh,
Such as?
fuck those people. Blue lives matter and fuck Black lives matter and all this other stuff. That's racist shit.
That's not racist.
Yes, it is, and we're not going to get into it. It's going to piss me off. Change the subject.
So again, credit to Dr. Evil Genius for wanting to maintain a certain view of what his show is. He doesn't want to have these political, cultural discussions, and that's fair. That's not what this show is. He and I have conversations, and he's not, shying away from it. But he specifically doesn't like to get into this stuff while people are watching the fights. So that wasn't him, chickening out or anything. He was just saying, "Hey, this is not the time or the place." So yep, throwing out the isms. And so I should have brought this up earlier. I guess it doesn't really matter, but he's so afterwards he DM'd me on Discord, and what did he say back? I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said that saying what Colby said was in fact racist, but that I wouldn't be able to necessarily understand it because I'm not I'm not a Black person. So actually, let's do this one. So I just want to bring back up the actual press conference that I was talking about in that conversation, what he was referring to, what I was referring to, all of that good stuff. So let's run through and let's see what we got. Ramen says, "F Black Lives Matter. I agree, it's stupid, and I love Black people, but the dumbest movement. But yeah, respect to evil and being able to keep it civil. Agreed. Shouts to Dr. Evil Genius and Mrs. Evil." So this was from September of 2020. Most of you guys know that before a fight, there's a lot of press, there's a lot of media, and then there's a specific presser before the fights where they'll sit down like this. All the media members will have their cameras, and they'll all go and ask their questions. And for this particular fight, this is what Tyron Woodley decided to do.
Sorry, appreciate your time today. Originally, we all thought you and Colby were going to be up there together. It's going to be a joint press conference. We find out it's not. Let me ask you: Are you disappointed that you don't get the chance to face him down, to deal with them, or are you kind of happy you don't have to put up with the stuff today?
I'm just excited that Black Lives Matter.
Are you surprised that in the lead up to this fight that he hasn't been more vocal against Colby Compton? He's always been respectful of you. Is that shocking you at all? He hasn't gone into more like he normally does.
I'm just really excited that Black Lives Matter.
Fair enough, and we know that it looks like Usman and Burns is later, this year. A win here would be big for you. Would you keep yourself ready to be a fill-in opponent on a title fight, or are you at a point in your career where you wouldn't do that?
I feel like, the victory here just really shows how much Black Lives Matter.
Fair enough, and my last question for you then, obviously the Black Lives Matter shirt on, clearly you want to keep it in that direction. Would you like to use this platform to deliver any message to everyone out there?
Just that Black Lives Matter.
And you get the idea. He was just not answering the questions and just using his platform to talk about Black Lives Matter. And if that's what you want to do, perfectly fine. But as Kluk is saying, the press is literally 95% of the fight, fighting for attention because they milk the hell out of the buildup for a comparatively short ass fight. Yeah, I mean this sport would not work without the drama. It's simply not it's not like football where the game is enough for whatever reason. I think that we get so closely tied to these fighters. There's a million different reasons, but just in this business, building up the fight is how you advance your career. Even just winning fights. We've seen with people like Leon Edwards and others where just having a winning record doesn't necessarily make you the champion. It's not a directly competitive architecture like in football, where it doesn't matter if everybody hates you. If you win all the games, then you win you get to the Super Bowl. That's not how it works in fighting. And so it was a little bit of a weird thing to do, but fair enough. Again, that's what he wants to do. So if we go over to Colby's thing, Dr. Evil Genius was saying that in response to what we just saw from Tyron Woodley, that because it was a response to this, and Colby was saying F Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter in response, that it was a racist thing to say. And so let's just watch and let's see.
Colby, I feel like you'd be remiss if we didn't ask you the inspiration for the suit today. That's pretty powerful gear you got on there.
Yeah, my great suit maker, Luigi Girardi, out of Miami, making this green suit for money, because, that's all I'm bringing into this company these days myself.
Like it. Listen, I think you've been kind of surprisingly respectful towards Tyron. I mean, obviously a little trash talk, but not the levels we're used to. I'm curious, is this part of Colby coming in 2.0? Was there something about this matchup that you hadn't kind of gone in on him as much as you have people in the past?
So already the first question is aside from his suit, is about how he hasn't been talking as much shit as we came to know Colby to do. That was the first question. So I don't remember the exact build up to the fight, but clearly he was not as bombastic as he has been in prior to this, once he started with the character. And Vincent, he's slated to fight Jake Paul, is he not? I thought that was happening.
I wouldn't say it like that. I just would say that I got better things to do. I was planning speeches to hang out with the president and attend his rally, and I'm doing bigger things these days. So, I'm not really worried about anything Tyron does. The only thing that I'm going to be worried about is if he tries to wrap that off gun.
This is your first fight as Colby Covington Incorporated, the new team. Talking about the preparation, I mean, I imagine, individualized attention, but also a lot of challenges, right? You left an accomplished team, accomplished structure, all those things. So have there been any challenges in this new setup that you have, or have you found it pleasant?
I found it very pleasant. It's been, very just free. I don't have people that go to a manager and complain to him, and be like, oh, you need to keep this guy out. He said some mean things. This professional cage fighter gets locked in a cage in his underwear to take people's brain cells. Oh, but he says mean things, kick me out of the gym. If you got complaints, direct them to the head of the complaint department. Me, Colby Covington Incorporated.
A win here would certainly be big for you. There'd be clearly two fights on the table that everybody wants to see, right? The rematch on the roof, I think everybody would be into that, or the grudge match in Masvidal. So if you were able to pick one or the other, they came to you and said, Colby, I like your style, I like what you're doing. You make a call. Which fight you take first?
That's a tough one to ask, because those are...
And that's pretty much how the rest of it goes. It's a normal a press conference. And again, so it says in the title here, Colby Covington calls him racist. Let's let it play. Because when I was watching it back, I didn't hear anything specifically racist, but let's cross our T's and dot our I's.
It doesn't matter which order it goes. It could be Marty Fabian first or True to Responsible, but they will both get it unless they're both cowards and tuck their heads between their tails and run off. But, those are the only two fights I'm looking for after I end Tyron Woodley's career on Saturday night on ESPN.
Hey, Colby. I think most people thought that it was going to be you and Tyron on the stage together. When did you find out that wasn't going to be the case?
Oh, yeah, I got the same thing. I thought I'd be able to get in his head, play some mind game, see it face to face, look that coward in the eyes after we did the press conference. But I just found out yesterday. They called me and they said, hey, you're going to be just a single. There'll be all the nerds from the media that should be at the Comic-Con and Dungeons and Dragons thing. But I found that out yesterday.
Dana said it was because they wanted to highlight the undercard. Do you think that's the truth, or do you think maybe Tyron asked not to engage with you in person?
Yeah, I would think that Tyron asked to not engage with me in person. He's doing his little thing. He's trying to copy what I do. He was wearing some hat that says whatever it said, racist fade again, but the only person that's catching the fade is Tyron Woodley on Saturday night. He's the only one that's racist, and the only race there is in this fight is the race to get him out of the UFC.
So I think that's the extent, and I'll let it play just a little bit more. But the only one who's racist is him, and the race is to get him out of the UFC. And of course, as we know, he's not in the UFC anymore, and Jake Paul knocked him the fuck out. But let's play a little bit more just to see if there's anything else. But I think that's it.
When you used to train with him, even before you started being such an avid Trump supporter, you were targeting him years ago, saying that you could train with him, you could beat him. What did you see in training that made you so confident that you could beat him in a fight?
I just saw that Tyron Woodley was a 10-man, and he had no heart. And so I knew right away that, if we ever crossed paths, it was going to be an easy night's work for me. And that's what's going to happen on Saturday night. It's going to be, easy money. I'm going to expose him and take him to the deep end of the pool. He's going to drown.
Yeah, so more just stuff like that. So and again, I am not saying that Colby hasn't said racist stuff in the past, but we were talking directly about whether or not the what happened was itself racist. So that brings us to that's this is what I do. I talk about this stuff. And like I said, he after the stream, Dr. Evil and I were talking, and he told me, you should ask Darshan about this. You will you'll get a different perspective. Okay, I'll ask Darshan. And I was as I explained that it wasn't racism. It was certainly insensitive. It certainly was being an asshole, but that's not what racism is. Just reading here, seeing anything, if you guys are talking to me or talking to each other. Ron says, I don't even know if I watch it. I don't like boxing because I just don't see it as a real fighting style. It won't work in the streets. I mean, you could be a ferocious boxer, but once kicks and grapple, boxing ain't that. I don't know, man. You see how many street fights actually include kicking and grappling? Not many. Not many. Oh yeah, you know what's coming, Darshan. You know what's coming. And yeah, see you guys. So now you guys have a little bit of an idea of where I was. So I sent I took a screenshot of the messages that Dr. Evil and I were talking about this after the stream, ending with ask Darshan and see what he says. So I did just that. I took a screenshot and I asked Darshan. And let's see what he has to say. He does, I believe he, yeah.
Channel discussion. We're going to talk about.
Shout out to Darshan. Again, his channel is in the description, as well as the link to this stream itself.
Some things. We're going to talk about a message that was sent to me to ask me my personal outtake on it. I'm going to bring up my co-host here in a moment. We're going to bring up Henry and get him rocking and rolling.
Oh, Henry. Oh, Henry. We'll get there.
Let's go ahead and add him to the stream here. But I want to thank you guys for joining us on this nice and fantastic Sunday from my view top here, from our rooftop view. Very nice and bright outside. Henry, how are you doing? Uh-oh, we got your...
Righty, ready to rock and reel. We're ready.
I'm not going to hold back on this one.
All right.
I'm going to read this message. Let's see if I can do it.
Darshan's always drippy, man. Drippy, drip, drip, drip.
I'm not going to even share the screen because usually when I share the screen, it starts to get choppy. But okay. So anyway, I'm not going to say the person's name just yet. I'll probably save it for later. But I did get a direct message via Instagram, and it reads such as this.
So this is where we left off with Dr. Evil and Genius and I talking about the situation that he cut off on stream. He wanted to be fair to me and have that have that discussion. I respect that he doesn't want to have those types of conversations for an MMA watch party, but he also respects that, okay, if I bring something up and then he cuts me off, even if it's for a good reason, then he wants to hear me out because he's a friend. So we had that conversation, and then we are here.
As a UFC fighter, Colby Covington, playing an obvious character, his opponent at the time, Tyron Woodley, whom decided to use the pre-fight for a press conference to promote Black Lives Matter.
And that's the conference that we just saw. Again, we only saw some of it, but he answered everything with Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. This is why Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Colby Covington said, F Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter all the time. So Dr. Evil Genius sent a message to the person who remains anonymous at the moment and says, I'm curious whether you, meaning Darshan, think specifically is it racist to say that F Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter all the time?
So, and just to clarify a little bit, it was the question that I was asking, because I mean, I didn't even recognize, or I didn't know that at that time that Colby hadn't said F Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter in the press conference. When I sent that message, I was thinking he said it in the press conference. It wasn't until just now when I looked it up, I said, oh, he didn't, all he did was call him a racist. So, by adding all the time, what I meant was all of the time he says stuff like F Black Lives Matter and all the time he says Blue Lives Matter. Not that necessarily he said Blue Lives Matter all the time, end quote. Just to clarify.
And another message was sent to me, and it reads such as this. By the way, next time you talk to Darshan, ask him if he thinks F Black Lives Matter followed by Blue Lives Matter is racist or not. You're not going to see it from my view. That's cool. Ask him. Now.
So that's what, again, that is the end of the conversation between Dr. Evil Genius and I. That's cool. Ask him. That's the end of the message. I screenshot that. I sent it over to him. And then I see Darshan's live. I'm like, oh, let me go check out what's going on there. And then it all blew up. It all blew up. What do we got here? Kluk says, people who have careers in sports have no position preaching about politics. Why is that? Why is that? Everybody should have an interest and a knowledge and opinions about politics. If they affect you, then absolutely you should have an opinion. Not even just the smart ones. I wish it was just the smart ones, but that's not how it works. Everybody gets a voice. So I need to hear a little bit more from you on that, Kluk.
I had to read that comment about 3 times. I had to read that message 3 times. I never typically jump out of the window and instantly respond to people. I give it some time. That's been my thing. And one thing I've always paid attention to is I can't go off of how I think somebody said it. I have to read it how it's on paper. And most of the time, if there isn't any exclamation points or question marks or things that really give it character so I can really bring the story to mind, I just read it as is. That's very important when you get into acting, because they develop a character for you, and then you have to portray that character, and you have to read the script.
We'll come back to this, Kluk.
So my response initially, before I sent anything, was, I don't even want to give this my energy. That's between 2 fighters getting ready to go into a boxing ring to smash each other's face in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, what about it?
And isn't that precisely what we just heard Colby Covington say in the press conference? That, hey, we're about to go fight each other. Oh, he has to mean words. And again, that can be, you can be insensitive in that and still have that argument. And then say, okay, even though they are fighters and it shouldn't matter what they're saying, we just want to determine, was it racist what he said?
They're probably playing it up. So I want to play my audio response. This is what I said after I thought about it, after reading it 3 times.
Before he does that, I just want to welcome anybody who's just joining us. Welcome to the party. I am your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. And you came on a good day, because we are talking about a whole bunch of different stuff that really gets to the heart of what this channel is. So give us a salute in the chat so we can say hello, and happy to see you here.
Uh-oh, that's another loaded question.
Oh, we got Miguel in the building. Welcome, Miguel. Miguel says, I know what you mean, Kluk. We want to watch sports, not politics. So since we are, we got the time real quick. Kluk said, not in press conferences is what I mean. That's not your time. That's company time. I definitely understand that. But the point of people doing that in press conferences is the fact that these people don't often have that level of a platform where they have all of the media on them. They don't necessarily have everything that they're going to say being played on ESPN over and over and over and over. So I get what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. I think that's a much better way to protest than some of the other ways of protest that we've seen. So again, When I sent Darshan the screenshot, I got this voice message in return.
Guys are really into this political race baiting stuff. I don't know, man. I'm saying this jokingly. Maybe you guys need to get outside in the world and have a little bit more fun, man.
So that was my initial response, was like, you guys are, politically race baiting this whole thing about who's racist and who's not. I think you guys need to go outside and go enjoy the world. And
I, as he said, he was joking, but kind of not really. He definitely meant it. And I don't disagree that, at least for myself, I don't want to speak for Dr. Evil, but I know for myself, I am very in the weeds in this stuff. And it's not that I don't go outside and that I get myself so wrapped up in this that it becomes something that is eating away at me. This is enjoyable to me. I enjoy learning. I enjoy getting into these cultural whatever debates, discussions, whatever you want to call them. I'm a dog trainer. I spend most of my day outside working with animals. And so the notion that we talk about this stuff a lot is not that we are just obsessed and we can't get over it. Or again, let me just speak for myself. That it's not that I'm just obsessed and I can't get over it. And is this racism? Is that racism? Is that racism? It's like, no, we were just and of course Darshan didn't know this. He just got the screenshot, which is why I'm talking about it now. But the idea was that I was just talking to Dr. Evil about believing a character or not a character in the UFC. And that conversation got shut down because of racism. That's not fun to be a part of. That's not fun to watch if you're watching the show. And I would like to have fun and be entertaining if I'm going to be streaming on the internet. So that was that. And I mean, I definitely am balls to the wall, knee deep in this shit. And maybe that's not for everyone. But it's not that I am overly obsessed with anything, and at least I don't think so. I think I have a very healthy curiosity and skepticism, and I'm just willing to talk about things.
The reason I said it that way was because typically when you go outside and interact with people, you don't see the racist rhetoric that you would typically hear through the news. It's not, when I go inside of I don't know, like a Whole Foods or a Target, I'm not seeing a whole bunch of people in there being racist towards each other. I see people in their shop, doing their thing.
Yeah, exactly. They got lives.
So my next
and Darshan, I completely understand that. And that's why I didn't take it personally when you're like, because I understand that it is different for different people. Thinking about this stuff affects people differently. And I'm somebody who can, think about this stuff, get into a heated debate, and then go on and, like we're about to get into all of this, and this gets a lot more personal about me. And then I'm ready to go watch the series finale of Better Call Saul, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. Whereas other people might get into a conversation like this, and then they're thinking about it for the next week, and they're not straight. So so let me just put it this way: if there's ever something that I ask you, please don't feel obligated to answer at all, or even to answer right away. I would not be offended if you're like, yo, I don't really care about that. Cool. Or, yo, I don't really have the time to think about this. Let me get back to you. Cool. I'm not demanding answers from anybody. I was just instructed to get more information, and both Dr. Evil Genius and myself respect what Darshan has to say. So that's that's why that's how this came about. And I don't want you to feel like you're like my resident black dude to go check whatever, you know what I mean? It's not like that. We respect your opinion, and he and I had different perspectives, so we were just looking for somebody else's opinion that we respected. So that was the first one. Just, you guys need to go outside. You are too deep in the weeds.
Response was this.
But to answer the question, do I think it's racist? No, is my first.
So the black guy said it wasn't racist. So I'm good then, right? He said it wasn't racist. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let me back that up.
Yeah, exactly. They got lives.
So my next response was this.
But to answer the question, do I think it's racist? No is my first instinct because of just the climate of things. I think it's disrespectful, but racist. I mean, people gonna say F this, F that, to whatever. I can't just jump out the window and say that it's racist. But if anything, it's more so disrespectful on both sides when someone disregards the other person.
Now,
and I could not agree more, Darshan. I could not agree more with that way of thinking about it. I think it was to again, we're both operating under the belief that Colby Covington was saying F Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter in direct response to Tyron Woodley saying Black Lives Matter. So with that being said, yeah, of course it's disrespectful to him and what. Now that we see that that's just stuff that he says, like in general, not as a response to Black Lives Matter, not as a response to any person, specifically a black fighter. At least for me, it makes a little bit more clear that he's an asshole, he's disrespectful, he's insensitive, but that isn't racism. What we are talking about. Cook says, Darshan don't want to be caught lacking when he says something that was like a rough draft of his thought and not the entirety of his belief. Well, I'm going to give Darshan a little bit more credit. I would not expect Darshan to be caught lacking. This is, the notion that he's going to not just, as he says, jump out the window and to respond to this kind of stuff is smart, especially if it's something that elicits certain emotions in him. Then take the time that you need. I'm not going anywhere. And so it's not necessarily about being caught lacking. It's just about when you care about things. And I take it as that, Darshan wants to give me good information. Then you don't always have every answer of things that you might already know right at the front of your brain. You might need to sit on it and think about it for a while. Oftentimes when I was doing the I Didn't Read Your Book podcast, and we would do the interview and then the solo segment afterwards, I usually like to break down the conversation and what just happened. But a lot of episodes, and both times in with Darshan's episodes, if you haven't seen them, go check them out. We did an episode for his book Girlfriend versus Wife Duties, as well as his children's book series Anaya's Adventures. And in both cases, I was like, wow, I don't really have much to say right now. Like, that was a really good conversation, and I just got to go sit and think about what just happened, and that's okay. So Cook says it's not even that it's a bad thing. It's just the internet never forgets what you say, so they bitch about outdated statements all the time, 100%. And then Darshan, I totally get this. Is right. I want to give good information, and you do. That's why we come to you, brother. That is why we come to you. So let's keep going.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, and you're right.
Actually, let me back it up just to make sure we're not missing
If anything,
anything.
it's more so disrespectful on both sides when someone disregards the other person.
Now, did you hear that?
Yeah, and you're right. Everybody's life matters. Okay, that's the bottom line. But police officers in particular, anybody in law enforcement, I'm an ex-Marine. I've been in the uniform. I did 6 years in the Marine Corps, and I know what the cops go through. I know what the sheriff's deputies go through. I know what the sheriff goes through. I know what the state troopers go through. I worked in the government, so I know what I'm talking about. And anybody, no matter what race you are, black, white, and everybody in between. I'm going to say that again. Black, white, and everybody in between, no matter what race you are. If you haven't served in the military, you haven't served in the police department, you haven't served in the fire department, you've never been a paramedic, you've never worked in any of the first response, first responders. You've never worked for the government. That means you've never done anything to help this country. Yourselves, your own people in your own cities, your own villages, your own towns, your own states. You've done nothing to help. So when someone criticizes the fire department, they criticize the government, they criticize the politicians, they criticize. If you've done nothing to help, nobody cares what you have to say. That's when the guy meant when he said, F Black lives, F blue lives, F green lives, F the Martians. Everybody wants to F somebody, and no matter who you are, you always got an enemy. This guy said it best in One of the Outer Limits. He says everybody looks like a monster to somebody. And it's true. Everybody looks like a monster to somebody, no matter what race you are. You got an enemy, whether you like that or not, whether you want to deal with that or not. You don't have a choice with that. My problem is people who try
Vincent out here trying to kill me.
Get other people upset to go fight their battles for them. If you got a problem with the Ku Klux Klan, you don't go to the white man and say, oh, well, listen, Mr. White Man, I got a problem with these white men over here. They want to wipe out my race. You need to do something about that. Otherwise, I'm going to call you a racist. You're a bigot. You're prejudiced. No, you're a coward. If you got a problem with those people over there, you take care of that, no matter what race they are.
And again, I just want to make sure that we've got context. If you saw the clip that I put out yesterday, you've already seen where this is going, but I want to make sure there's nobody that can say, oh, you clip this, you cut that out. We're almost there. Stick with me. I've never failed you guys before. And so JH says, I like this guy. Yeah, he's definitely sounds very wise. Let's continue.
You take care of that problem. If it's going down like that in your city, in front of your face, they're pulling over your children, your fathers, your sisters, and blowing their heads off, and you go run around talking about, oh, look what they doing to us. You better get hot, boy, or y'all ain't gonna live. You're gonna get wiped out. That goes for any race. Cowardice will not be tolerated in any society. I don't care what country you're in. We're in the great United States of America. A lot of people died so we could have this country. We fought the English. That's what we celebrate the 4th of July about. The United States is a great country. A lot of blood, a lot of lives have been spilled. The Civil War. There's your Black Lives Matter. Don't tell the good white folks, not the bad ones. Don't tell the good white, but your Black Lives Matter wants to lump them all in one stuff. Oh, white people. You can't say all white people, just like you can't say all black people. You got good black people and bad black people. You got good white people, you got bad white people. You got good Latinos, you got bad Latinos. You got good Asians, and you got bad Asians. You got good Arabs, you got bad ones.
You got crazy rich Asians.
Every race has good and bad in it. That's just the way it is. But to lump everybody up in one lump sum and say, well, all white people are evil and all black people are stupid, all white people, this, or all Latinos are thieves, all Arabs, you got to watch them, they'll blow you all up. Stereotyping stuff. But Black Lives Matter, the good white people fought the Civil War for you. The Civil War, 1861 to 1865, Abraham Lincoln, the Civil War, they won your freedom for you. They killed their own relatives wearing the gray and blue uniform. They killed their own relatives to free you from slavery. Don't you ever tell them that your lives don't matter. It matters so much that they did what they did. And they ain't going to do that for you no more. That's what y'all keep expecting them to keep doing. Keep fighting the Klan for you. Keep fighting the white racists for you.
One thing I want to point out is how Darshan will not shut the fuck up. Like, let Henry talk.
Keep fighting whoever's fighting you. That's what you keep calling the police for. That's what pisses the police off. They're always getting calls to come to your neighborhood to break up a fight that y'all started, and then y'all got the nerve to get mad at us when we show up because we're not taking your side. And that goes for both sides. They don't know who the hell started the crap. But we got to have, even if we have to take you both in to get peace in here. The neighbors are crying. That's who called us out here. Your own neighbors called us out here. Your own so-called friends, they're the ones calling us out here because y'all raising all this hell. If y'all, bottom line, if you haven't served, shut up. Shut up. Lions cannot concern themselves with the affairs of lambs. I'm so sorry. That's just the way it is, girls.
I'm so glad you said that because after.
What a shame. Man's raising his finger on his own goddamn platform. Let's continue.
At my message, I started thinking to myself, lions don't concern themselves with the thoughts of sheep, right? And I was thinking that I wasn't trying to be funny. I was just saying I'm so far past some of the things that people are, I guess, gaslighting about or raving about. It's this constant echo chamber of, hey, look at this racist. This person's being racist towards me. Look at this. Look at this. It's like, dude, there's so much life to live. And where I just came from, from taking a break from the world, that's where some people just need to be. They need to take a break from the world, get to themselves and say, all right, now who is against me? Who's this person that's being racist towards me every single day?
So Miguel says, I like Henry, but not so sure white people marched to their deaths to keep or free slaves. A little more going on there, maybe. I mean, yeah, definitely, a simplification, but I think, he was giving a little bit, to be fair to Henry, he was giving a little bit more of a broad answer, which is why it was so long, and maybe it would be a little bit more pointed if he had just given a little bit shorter of an answer and was a better conversationalist instead of a preacher. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? I'm not reading that.
That's kind of how I've been looking at things. Like, okay, who is this person that's been holding me back from success? Who's this person that's been holding me back from getting a job? And because that's the echo chamber. People are saying somebody's holding them back, and I go, well, I want to see the person who's physically doing this to you. And I've always said this. I want to talk to the person that's been hurting your feelings, holding you back, stopping you from getting a job. Because when you really think about it, it's just a facade that you have in your mind that someone's physically holding you back from getting to where you need to be. No one's physically holding you. It's psychological.
So keep in mind, this all started with Darshan's stream started with him, reading what I sent to him and then playing his responses. He threw it to Henry. Darshan has not told Henry that I was the one who sent the message. Now, I don't know who Henry is. I don't know how he knows who I am. I think he was a fan of the I Didn't Read Your Book podcast, as he mentions a couple of times. But I don't know who he is. He is one of a number of people who have emailed me to say that, I can't use the name TheIndianJesus because of God and da-da-da-da. But other than that, I mean, I don't know who he is. So maybe if Darshan's going to be up here later, he might fill that gap and how my name got brought up with all this. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Right. Because I see people's posts. I go through Instagram, go through Facebook, see the videos up on YouTube and stuff, and you wonder, say, well, who are these people talking about? Who's the person that's in your neighborhood, like really holding you back? Show me who that person is, and we're going to talk to them together and tell them to leave you alone so you can get forward. And you come to find out it's nobody. It's them.
Right. Exactly.
And so, so when he sent that, he basically sent another message. And this person I'm talking about is TheIndianJesus. He sent this message, and he put it into.
So, in case you didn't hear, let's double back and listen to Henry's reaction when he hears who Darshan was talking about.
And this person I'm talking about is TheIndianJesus. He sent this message, and he put it into.
Oh, brother. Okay. Oh, brother, what? Vince said, is this America? Is he a YouTube employee or something? You can name your own YouTube channel, whatever you want. Thank you, Vincent. I will. And I did.
More context. And the reason I didn't respond the way he probably thought I would is because sometimes, and he's cool with.
Darshan, you responded exactly the way that I thought you would. I think it's Dr. Evil Genius who didn't expect that type of response from you. But continuing.
Me, but sometimes people send you messages to kind of bait you into a conversation to see if you're going to play devil's advocate or to be a contrarian. I'm not that person. That's like a waste of mind trickery to go, oh, well, yeah, that's true. I don't even really care about it because that's not where my mind state is right now. I'm going to sit there having, discussions about whether something's racist or not. It's like, okay, I guess it is. you feel that way, which is how you feel. If you feel that way, then so be it. That's just how you feel. But when I'm reading something, the words don't pop off into my mind that says that this person is being racist. And that's very important. That's the reason why I wanted to get into writing. That was a major reason it was very important for me to take writing serious, because when people understand that you're an author, that you're a writer, and that you're intentionally using the words that are in a script, that are in a book, that are in a newspaper to intentionally get your point across, that's extremely important. And it's not meant for you to take the words and to read them out of context. It's exactly what you see is exactly what the author meant. And people.
So what you're saying, Darshan, is that words have meaning. And from that, I could guess that you would think that if people were purposely trying to confuse the masses by changing the definitions or the use of words without changing the definitions, that would probably not be a good thing. I wonder.
Read into things going on. No, I see in between the lines. It's like, no, there's no in between the lines. It right. Says what it says. I didn't scribble anything in between the lines. That's right. And that's what people do. Right. They send you messages, be like, well, can't you see what this person's trying to say? No, the person said exactly this, and that's what it says.
Exactly. Word for word. Don't change one single word. You change one word in a sentence, you change the whole damn meaning of the sentence. You screwed it up. Exactly, Sean. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
So again, so far, I'm gonna every time I say again, put again in the chat, because I gotta stop doing that. I used to say all the time. I'm getting better with that, but every time I stop it, I say again, then just type again in the chat and shame me. So far, aside from being a little bit wordy and preachy, I'm right there with what Henry is saying. I agree 100%. The words have meanings, that we can't go around and change it just because words have meanings. And if you try to look between the lines to find thank you, Vincent. If you try to look for racism, transphobia, whatever it is, in between the lines of context of whatever, then you're going to find it. The question is whether or not it's actually there. And I'm 100% on board with what Henry is saying so far.
Go ahead, Sean.
I kind of wanted to. No, you're fine. You're fine. I kind of wanted to throw that at you and save the name for last, just so we could get through it. The conversation pretty smooth, because I know how you take the blasphemy of somebody using the name TheIndianJesus to promote a channel and to try to make some.
So this is right where I was watching something else. This was yesterday, right? Yeah. So this was yesterday. I was watching the fights on Saturday, so I was up kind of late. Got up relatively late, and I'm watching some stuff. Got through, not a lot of stuff comes out on Sundays, so went through my. I showed you guys how I'll go through my subscriptions. Everything from my subscriptions added to the watch later list, and then I'll go through the whole watch later list. But of course, it's Sunday. There's not really much going on YouTube, so I get through that. Then I go back to my subscriptions to see what else is there, and who do I see but Darshan McAway is live. Of course, I'm going to go hop in and say, what's going on. And that is where I came in. I didn't, I'll tell you exactly.
Conversation pretty smooth, because I
right here. This is, I clicked the video, and this is where I came in real quick. Let's see. What am I missing? You guys talking amongst yourselves. Yeah, Vincent, thank you very much. Miguel says, if that guy talking is the same guy in the chat, thumbs up on your logic. So the guy in the chat, this is Darshan McAway. I invited Henry to come speak and say whatever he had to say. I don't expect to see him, but he is welcome. And again, Darshan, if you want to, it says salute to everybody. If you want to, reach out to him and let him know that we are doing this, and he is welcome to come up on the panel afterwards. I did email him, but that's what it is. So Vincent said, And JH said we got a religious zealot. A little bit, but all right. You know, people are religious. Whatever. And it says, breaking! Lutch is a heretic. Hacks into the YouTube live stream to spread hate and abuse old man. Yep, you know. Henry is watching. Well, hello, Henry. Again, I implore you, after we go through all this, I will open up the panel and drop the link. You are more than welcome to come up and have a respectful conversation. And I hope that just by watching what we're doing here, that you see what this channel is about in general and where, why I got, I'll say why I got triggered by the way you were speaking about me. So again, I didn't hear any of the talk about the answer to the question that I had originally asked. I didn't hear anything about what Henry said before. The blasphemy of, the Indian Jesus. This is where I came in. Just so you guys know.
I know how you take the blasphemy of somebody using the name TheIndianJesus to promote a channel and to try to make some money.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a conversation in and of itself, but we don't want to hurt his feelings. But then again, I've already sent him a text and an email rather, and let him know about he needs to change that IndianJesus thing.
Yeah, Henry, you are one of very many people who have sent me DMs, tweets, things, and that I understand what blasphemy is. Being brought up a Catholic, there is a deliberate reasoning behind the name, and I completely understand where you come from, but I don't hold that position, and so. Again, we could have got. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Let's let it roll.
But again, he's hard-headed. He's 31, but that's okay. You'll learn. You're young enough to learn.
Yeah.
Brother, are you going to learn?
Well,
so I want to stop it here to address the fact that he's 31. He knows everything. He's hard-headed. We've all been 31. Da, da, da. So I just want to. I have no idea. I have no idea, Kluk. That is weird. But I specifically want those of you who I have talked about your age when it comes to anything. Notice that it happens. I told you that if I'm ever speaking to a 40-year-old person, that they're gonna do the same thing, or that when I am 40, I'm gonna look back at the stuff I'm doing now and say, "Oh, I didn't know shit." So do not take it personally when people who are older than you say that your age has to do with what you're thinking. They may be right, they may be wrong, but that in and of itself is not an insult. We'll get into whether it's appropriate here, but in and of itself is not an insult.
Well, speaking of that, he's in the chat.
So you see how I said, speaking of that, he's in the chat. Anybody here who has a channel, if I see you live, you know exactly what I do. You know exactly when I start watching, because you will see that word in your chat. You will see the word salute. As soon as I open it, I salute. Doesn't matter what you're talking about. I'm not waiting to see if I like, if I ride with you. And you're not just somebody that I follow because of pure entertainment. Not saying you guys aren't entertaining, those of you that I follow. But if, like Darshan's been on my channel. We talk behind the scenes. He's helped me out in a lot of different ways. So if I see him live, I'm going and I'm watching that. I may not always be able to catch it, but I'm going and I'm writing salute right away. So when he says, speaking of that, he's in the chat. That's the moment that I was able to, that I clicked in, saw what was happening, typed out salute, and sent it. And then, it takes a couple of seconds to get there. So you can see how little of this conversation that you guys have already heard that I had heard by the time I got there.
Oh, is he?
He's in the chat.
Yes. Let's give a listen to the. I gotta refer to you. I didn't read your book, Lutch. I gotta refer to him. Let's put Lutch on. I can't.
Again, why? My name is Lutch. So why do you have to say I didn't read your book when that's, not. And I mean, I do want to bring that back. I'm looking to bring that podcast back. I really enjoy doing that, and I really enjoy talking to authors. And I understand that you have an issue with the name The Indian Jesus. But why not just call me Lutch then? And I want to let's make sure that we have all heard that this man did say Lutch. Just putting that out there. He said Lutch. This is why I changed the name of the channel. Because as fun as it is to talk to you authors, that is not how you build a career on YouTube. It's just not. Miguel said, why can't Jesus eat M&Ms? The candies fall through the giant nail holes. Oh, anyway, so yeah, you don't have to call me the Indian Jesus, but by saying, well, I gotta call you, I didn't read your book. No, you can just call me Lutch. That'll do fine. I mean, that already catches me like, well, why are you saying anything? If you don't want to say it, then just don't say it. Of course, I could go down the trans route. You're dead naming me. But, you know, I don't think anybody would have fun with that.
Blasphemy. I'm not going to go into this blasphemy. So let's put Mr. Lutch in.
Oh, and he said it again. He said my name again. I just want to make sure that my name was spoken on this panel before I ever arrived.
Okay. We'll add him to the stream. He's in the back office right now. Let's add him up.
Hello, hello. My ears were burning.
Well,
what's going on? The Indian Jesus.
Oh, brother. Hello. Hello, Lutch. This is Henry.
How you doing, Henry?
I didn't read.
So I'm going to do, even though there's the thing here, I'm going to go full screen with this. And then since it's obviously my voice, so it doesn't get confusing, I'll come back on if and when I need to say shit.
Read your book. Sounds a lot better than your new handle, that's for sure. But anyway,
there's 300 subscribers who don't agree with you, so I'm going to listen to them.
Yep, I was at about just under 200 when I changed, and now I am 11 people. 11 subscribers away from 500. So if you have not hit that red button, please, I just want that community tab. Please hit that subscribe button. It's a dead name. Hey, man, is that not what it is? Is that not what it is?
Naturally. But you said yourself, you're looking to resurrect common sense. What common sense is there in blasphemy?
I don't believe that it is blasphemy.
Did you hear that thunder just now?
Yeah.
It's storming and raining where I am in South Florida right now. As soon as you said I didn't think it was blasphemy, thunder just happened. Did you hear that, Mr. Lutch?
So, I did not write a book. The confusing part is that before I was the Indian Jesus, this channel was named the I Didn't Read Your Book podcast. And I would speak to authors about their books, which I haven't read. And, you know, it was a lot of fun. It was really cool, but algorithm does not support that type of content like that. So I needed to make a change because I would like this to be my my full-time job. So Vincent says, I can't even remember. I don't even, am I allowed to say it? Elliot Page's boy name. It's Elliot. The Thunderbolt was classic, aka unoriginal boy name. And so instead of being able to have a conversation about why I thought it was okay to blaspheme, he heard the thunder and he went straight into that. And we'll see where that goes. But if we weren't just talking about, you know, if we weren't just bringing in random weather occurrences in the middle of our conversation, I would have been able to tell him that I don't believe it is blasphemy because I don't believe that Jesus, if there was a Jesus, which there may or may not have been, is the Messiah or the Son of God or anything. And therefore, Jesus is just a word. It's just a name. That's it. That's why I don't believe it's blasphemy. If you believe it's blasphemy, you can go ahead and call me Lutch all you want. You never have to speak those words at all. But I am not a Christian. I don't live by that morality. So you don't have. I don't have to follow your beliefs, and I am not immoral by not holding your same morality. You do not have a stronghold on morality. Vince said, yeah, it was just confusing because when he said, I didn't read your book, it sounded like you were an author and he didn't read your book. Didn't know about the previous channeling. Yep. That thunder was fake. It almost feels fake. Or there's a thunder was so perfect, it almost feels fake. I mean, it was pretty, I mean, yeah, almost. But, Darshan said, thought someone hit a sound effect button. Coincidences happen. Let's move on.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that. Did you have the power to do that?
Do you
Did you have the power to do that?
Do you think that was by coincidence?
I have no idea.
Okay,
do you have the power to do that? Do you have the power to do that?
Let's do this.
I'm asking you a question. I answered your question. Now I'm asking you a question. Is it
conversation, discussion? It is something that happens with more than one person. So because Henry decides that I'm a blasphemer, that I am not entitled to be part of the conversation. Or maybe he's just a little bit lacking a little bit of self-awareness. Because he went on for a good, 7 minutes uninterrupted. When Darshan was, telling a story and, the big thing was that, it's the IndianJesus at the end. But you kind of spoiled that suspense because nobody remembered that Darshan hadn't said who sent him the message because you were talking for so long. And now you ask me a question. Do you believe that was a coincidence? I said, I don't know. I answered the question. So now I ask a question. But he doesn't have to respond. And I'm maybe that's because of some religious thing, or maybe that's just how he operates. Miguel says, unlike Lutch, I support the church, but I'm all about being irreverent. What it sounds like you're saying is that I'm all about being irreverent, and that you are too, but also you support the church. I don't know that I would. Actually, I don't know if I really know what irreverent means. Let's look it up. What does irreverent mean? I thought it meant oh, yeah, real quick though. This was the email that he sent me from July. You are not Jesus, Indian or otherwise. You did not get beaten, crucified. Actually, you know what? We're going to, that's going to spoil something. So, irreverent definition. Showing a lack of respect for people or things that are generally taken seriously. Okay, I think things that are generally taken seriously. I think there is, in the sense that I won't inherently agree that something deserves respect just because other people say that it deserves respect. You might be able to, you could say I'm irreverent in that way, but I'm not some contrarian who's out here just trying to play devil's advocate on whatever it is. I am somebody who speaks through my my actual opinions, and a lot of them just happen to be counter to what a lot of people think. I've been counterculture all of my life. And that's why it's so funny to me with all this trans stuff, when they're like so offended. I remember even before all of this, when I was in high school, and there was some, I think it's American People is a clothing brand or something, and they came out with a commercial or something to do with dancing. and they didn't properly represent dancing. Like all my friends who were dancers, they were like, "Oh my god, like American people, they're so horrible. And we need representation." And I was like, "Yo, you ever been a skateboarder? You ever been into heavy metal? You ever even? I mean, how many? I can list everything about my life, and it is always mischaracterized and depicted in the worst ways on TV. But it's TV. Who cares?" I'm getting so. I mean, I guess if that's what you mean by irreverent, then I would agree. But I'm not just out here trying to disagree. I'm not a contrarian. So those thunder sounds aren't that natural. Don't have that reverb. Yeah, I mean that was real ass. That was real ass thunder. And said, "Wow, that email looking like something from the Westboro Baptist Church would saying, I'm about to come to my funeral and protest." So Miguel is clarifying, saying, "I didn't say you are. I am. You show more respect than I do." Okay, so I think so then on the other side of that, I think there is a significant level of irreverence that I do have for certain things, but not just because they are popular. So clarified. Thank you, sir. Click says, "I support the church in a limited capacity. I wish they focused more on bettering lives in a more earthly manner, less on getting to heaven through repentance of sin, and more on living on earth better." But that's not what religion is. That's not what that is the whole point. Is that if this is what you want, then you need to go through something secular, egalitarianism, treating people, meritocracy, stuff like that. Religion is just Sky Daddy said this, therefore that. And again, this is that aspect of the church is going to come up very shortly. So let's get through these and get back into it. And said, "American loves their guns too much. Look how we do it so much better in our country." I think everybody in this conversation is American, so maybe I'm missing the joke, but let's get back into it.
Is this a conversation? Is this a conversation or no?
Do I have the power to make it thunder? No, I do not.
So how do you know I'm not Jesus?
Do you have the power to make it thunder?
I don't think so, but that's what you're implying. So how do you know I'm not Jesus?
So I gotta take a piss here, but I can't. So the reason I went down that way is because I was willing to have that conversation about blasphemy and what I believe about what is moral and correct and all those things. But he decided to say that, oh, because it thundered in Florida in the summer when I said that it must be some other thing. Oh, we got Al-Qadir. I'm sorry if I am pronouncing that incorrectly. I don't recognize the name. So welcome. Glad to have you here. Came on a good day. We are having a party just to talk about some drama that's been going on with the IndianJesus, aka me, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. What is I'm gonna call you Al. Al says English names don't have meanings like Hebrew names. Is this because Will Shatner and Bezos rallying up Scientology church? I think you figured it out. But that's a very good point about how a lot of times English names are just names, where other cultures, their name is representative of, if not a word, a concept, or something like that. And even God himself, the Christian God himself, is never named God in the Bible. Like, that's not his name. God just means a deity. And there is, I couldn't tell you where, but there's a passage that says something like that something like that, I am the Omega, all that kind of stuff. I don't remember the exact wording, but it basically just translates to that something like everything is God. And so when as the translations are being passed down, instead of people understanding that this amorphous God was a concept that we could all get around, that it was a person, a sky daddy named God. Well, that's just a short aside. But yeah, he decided to go through this thunder thing. So, okay, fine. You want to go down that road? Let's go down that road. If you think that me saying that the Indian Jesus is not blasphemy caused thunder, and you're a religious man, you might want to tread carefully. You don't know who you're talking to. You think you do. You really think you do. But you don't. So let's continue.
Because you didn't go to the cross and die for anybody 2,000 years ago. You're only 30.
Are you sure about that? How do you know? How do you know?
And of course I didn't. Of course I didn't. But that's not the point. The point is that he made a claim without any way to know what he's claiming. Of course I didn't die on a cross 2,000 years ago. But how does Henry know that?
Lutch.
Who told you that?
Lutch. Nobody.
Who told you that?
Lutch. You're trying to bait me, okay?
I'm just having a conversation.
I'm sorry. I thought I was baited into a conversation about thunder.
Talk about something.
You're making claims that I did or didn't do things, and I'm asking you, how did you know that? You are making a claim that I didn't die on the cross 2,000 years ago. How do you know that?
How do you know I don't know that? You see, I could just reverse.
Because you won't answer the question. That's how I know that.
Lutch.
Because if you did know, you'd answer the question.
We could play word games. We're not here to play word games. I'm just saying that this Indian Jesus.
So people on my.
So we're just not going to get an answer on that. So you don't know I'm not Jesus. I'm telling you right now. Thank you, Darshan. I'm telling you right now, I'm not the Christian Jesus. That's how you know. Not because you feel like it. Kluk says concepts, virtues, descriptors, elements, a whole bunch of other shit for names in most parts of the world. I look up words from different languages all the time because it's interesting. That is interesting. Al says, yeah, I had to learn the letter sequencing math, but it wasn't as bad as PS and QS in symbolic logic. Oh, the P's and Q's in symbolic logic. Yeah. Just talking, we've talked before on this channel about how language, and specifically in philosophy, language can be broken down almost like a math equation. And you have if P then Q, if Q then A, therefore if P equals A, or whatever it is. I don't think that made sense, but you know what I mean. And you can then you just plug in the variables. So if you say like all cats have tails, Bocus is a cat. Those are two premises, and the conclusion is that Bocus is a cat because all cats have tails, and Bocus is a cat. It's that's what Al was talking about. The Indian Sky Daddy. Oh man, that's kind of better. I think I like that. Al said blood analysis would need to match the nail in Kiev. I don't know that word, and Sudarium shroud probably, or even the thorn crown, or mercy seat blood. But blood. Yeah, that's how exactly. Those would be answers from Henry. Those would be ways that you would know whether or not I was the one who died on the cross 2,000 years ago. Now, of course, thousands of people died on the cross. Crucifixions were a pretty common thing back then. But again, if we're being generous and understanding that, of course, he is referring to the Christian Jesus of the Bible, the idea is that this is the type of stuff that you would need to know in order to make that determination. And I never said that I was Jesus. He claimed, Henry, you claimed that I wasn't. That's how language works. Let's continue.
I often tell people on my channel.
One at a time.
I often tell people on my channel.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Mr. Indian.
So right there, I was just about to tell you kind of all the same stuff that I just said, but of course I was interrupted. So let's see what's so important that Henry had to say.
Jesus, let's talk about, what do you want to talk about, Mr. Indian Jesus? Since you're
So that's a question, right? What do you want to talk about, Mr. Indian Jesus? That is a question. Let's see how I answer it in the direct following of that question.
on the screen. We were talking about
Want me to answer the question, bro?
We were talking about
Jesus Christ.
racism. We were talking about prejudice. We were talking about injustice.
Do you want me to answer the question? You asked me a question again.
No, I
You
already
asked me a
know
question,
you're
and
not
then you continue to
Jesus. You
talk.
don't have to convince me that you're not Jesus. You don't have.
See, he's still stuck on that. He asked a question and he's not even paying attention to what's coming out of his own mouth, much less what's coming out of my mouth. This is not a conversation. This is someone sitting and preaching what they believe based on nothing. Based on nothing. It's gonna be so cool to see it rain cats and dogs. Yep. I think that, if anything, that would be a lot closer to making me a believer than just hearing thunder. But of course, then I would still think about, logic and science, but it'd make me think about it more.
Convince me of that. I already know that. So let's move on. Let's move on.
All right, fine. So you asked me a question. What would I like to talk about? Would you like me to answer that question?
Why do you think there is racism and prejudice going on in the world? Why do you think that?
It's a multifaceted question. There's a lot of evil people around.
How do you know that?
Because I can see it with my own eyes. I see people acting.
How do you know what you're seeing is?
See, he's trying to do the same thing that I just did by taking what I claim and flipping it around. How do you know that? How do I know that evil exists, or that racism exists? Because I can see and hear people being racist. Pretty simple. And it says he admitted he asked a question for no reason, not wanting an answer. He just wanted to hear himself talk. Yep. Unfortunately. Well, let's continue.
It's real.
I don't. I just trust.
Well, let me back that up.
Do that
because I can see it with my own eyes. I see people acting.
How do you know what you're seeing is real?
I don't. I just trust the fact.
He thought he got me. He thought he got me. How do you know what you see is real?
That I have a continued consciousness from the time that I was born, and I believe in science. So those things lead me to believe that what I see, that I can trust my senses. But as Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. And that's the only thing that we can know. So you're right. I don't know any of those things are actually real. They could be figments of my imagination. You could be a figment of my imagination. I don't know.
Didn't see that one coming, did ya?
But I choose to trust that my senses are telling me the right thing. And so that's led me through life.
And notice what he picked. I talked about science. I talked about sensory information, and I talked about philosophy, directly quoting Rene Descartes. Now let's see what he focuses on.
For 32 years, pretty well.
32 years. You've got so much to learn. Do you know you've got to study history, the history of the world, all the way back to the beginning, and then you would have more of a focus on what's really going on.
Making claims. What is your experience with what I have and have not studied? You claim that I can't.
Have you?
No. That's a question. That's a question. If you'd like to have a conversation with me, then when you ask questions, I answer them, and when I ask questions, you answer them. It's called respect. It's called common courtesy.
What would you like to know?
I would like to know, as
he's getting mad
for making claims about what I do or do not know about history, what you know about what I study about history. In what position are you to make a claim that I need to study history?
Have you read?
Yes, I have.
See, and then if we, oh my God, bingo. This is the difference between what Henry did, talking about age, and what I do when I am talking to Anirudh or Sketchy or Sanzik. The difference is that I don't come to the table assuming that because they are younger than myself, that they don't understand. I treat them like adults. I treat them like human beings. I have the conversation. And then when you tell me something like 20-year-olds should be running the world, and you can't understand why that's a silly thing to say, well, okay, well then you're just young. That's fine. But the difference is, Vincent hit the nail on the head. That he used my age to avoid addressing any of the things that were said. So he can ask me questions and I've got to answer them. But then when I ask questions, he doesn't have to answer them. And this is, and I'm being, well, again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So Jay said, we're in a simulation, of course. Yeah, I was ready to go down that road. I think about this shit. This is what I do. Maybe everybody else out there is dumb as hell. But all I ask is that you judge me based on me. And also, Morty, leave it. I also want you to pay attention to the fact that I have not yet risen my voice with this man. He's being disrespectful. He was speaking about me when I wasn't even there. And he continues to talk over me, talk down to me, all this kind of stuff. And I have not raised my voice. And says, these are female diversion tactics to not address the point. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. That sign language. Shout out to the late Kevin Samuels, the late great Kevin Samuels. Gail said, I hope you don't ask him, since Jesus rose from the dead, that would officially make him a zombie. Yeah, I mean, that is logic right there, Miguel. All right, let's go. We got one more. Oh, we got a bunch. Hey, we got Alex in the building. Welcome. How you doing, brother? Al says, Al, I think you are a lot smarter than I am, and I think I am a lot dumber than you think I am. Because I don't know who these people are, these things that you're talking about are. But I'll try. I think it was Dull Quarantine who said, you shall know Christians by their claims. That's like exposing themselves. Isn't that like half the battle? Oh yeah. We getting there. Who is Henry? Some guy. So that's all we really need to know. So what we are watching is actually a stream from Darshan, who is in the chat, but he's also been on the panel many times. Darshan McAway. He had this guy on his panel, and long story short, from the last fight companion that Dr. Evil Genius and I did, we had a conversation, and then there was a question about race, and Dr. Evil Genius told me to ask Darshan, and so I asked Darshan, and then Darshan wanted to make a stream about my question as to, well, since you're basically whether or not Colby Covington saying fuck Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, is that racist? That's where it all started. So Jay says, in the simulation, the rising of Jesus is just another Neo being introduced. You already know. All right. So yeah, I want to go back through that and let's count how many questions I asked and how many answers we got.
It's all what is your experience with what I have and have not studied?
So okay, what is your experience with what I have and have not studied?
You claim that I can't.
Have you?
No. That's a question. If you'd like to have a conversation with me, then when you ask questions, I answer them, and when I ask questions, you answer them. It's called respect. It's called common courtesy.
What would you like to know?
I would like to know, as you are making claims about what I do or do not know about history, what you know about what I study about history. In what position are you to make a claim that I need to
interrupting me and not answering the question?
Have you read?
Yes, I have read the.
I would like to know how you know what I have and have not studied. Have you read the Bible? Intelligent conversation going on here.
Bible. I was brought up a Catholic. Have you read the Bible?
The King James version of the Bible?
Yeah. Have you any version? Have you heard any version of the Bible?
Mm-hmm. So how can you claim?
Again, this guy is allergic to answers. He can talk. He can talk. But answering questions, no.
Again, you won't answer the question. These are the people
I have.
So notice that this is where I realize, okay, I'm trying to have a conversation with this man to the best of my ability. It's not going the way that I really want it to go. But, it's different people. I don't know who this is. This isn't my platform. This is on Darshan's platform. I want to be respectful to his platform and his people and whatever. But at this point, this is when when that happened and he wouldn't answer the question. That's when I realized, okay, I am no longer talking to Henry. Now I'm talking to you guys. And this is what I think you guys, not specifically, but people in general, don't seem to understand about debates and about these heavy discussions. It's not about convincing the other person that they are wrong. It's about presenting your position and letting other people. Henry's never going to be okay with this channel. But I bet you there's a bunch of people who Darshan knows and who are watching this from Darshan's side who probably don't like the name The Indian Jesus. But they can see what's happening. And so this is when I start to address them. Al says, I once tried to buy an abductee's implant. I'm not a surgeon. Does that make me racist? Yes, it does.
I'm telling people that, this is blasphemy. This blasphemy. People should listen to you. You can't even answer a question from a supposed heretic. It's a simple question. Have you read a Bible?
I've read the Bible. I've answered your question. I've read.
And so you believe in all of it? Is it you believe in all of it, or you believe in part of it?
No, you have to believe it all or nothing. That's what the Bible says.
I agree.
So that means we believe in Noah's Ark. We believe in Jesus turning, a loaf of bread into thousands, or whatever, a fish into 1,000 loaves of bread, whatever the hell it was. We believe in him walking on water. To just say that, we believe that he is an actual zombie. He just said it's all or nothing. We believe that Lot's daughters got him drunk and had sex with their father. Because that's in the Bible. We believe, as Christians, that it's okay to beat your slaves as long as they don't die. Because it says so in the Bible. We believe that if a woman commits adultery, that we take her out in the street and stone her to death. This is who is preaching morality to me? Well, excuse me if I will bow out and not listen to a goddamn word you have to say when you're speaking to me like this. If you try to have a conversation, maybe we can get somewhere. But as long as you think you sit atop this moral tower, you will get nowhere. We got that one. Let's continue. Actually,
great.
Or you
I agree.
reject it all.
I agree. So you believe in.
And again, I was trying to say that. I was trying to bring up all the dumb things that are in the Bible, but I was interrupted. And since I'm a nice person, it's not my platform, I let the man continue.
I've accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as my personal Savior because I'm a Christian. Like you said, I was raised up as an Episcopalian, which is one step down from the Catholics, of course. But a person is either saved or they're unsaved. They either believe in God, the one true God, or they don't believe in him. You're either going to choose to be good and do good in this life, or choose to be evil and do evil in this life. You're either going to be on the side of God, or you're going to play the devil's advocate and play which a lot of people do. And I don't want to get into any more, what this or that. I didn't read your book. Sounds great. And Lutch, you're a very smart guy, but use your intelligence. You're 32 years old. Everybody's been 32. We think we know it all when we're 32. We really do. Because I'm 65. And when I was 32, you couldn't tell me jack either. I know it all. I've lived 32 years, and I'm going to trust what I see, what I hear, what I know.
That's not what I said. I said I trust the fact that I have a steady stream of consciousness, that my senses tell me what I can believe what my senses tell me. And the big one is science. Henry's wrong again. We haven't all been 32. I assume he was just talking about the three of us. But Darshan, I don't think you're much... you're not 40 yet, right? Like, so to be talking down as if I'm so young, like there is definitely a big difference between being, I would say there's a big difference between being 15 and being 17. And that difference is probably the same as to 17 to 20, and then 20 to 24, and then 25 to and so the gap of what your age actually says about what you know gets less and less and less relevant as you get older, because there are some dumbass 30-year-olds and there are some smart-ass 60-year-olds. There's also some dumbass 60-year-olds and some smart-ass 30-year-olds. So, yeah, I mean, Darshan's under 40. So I wonder what Henry thinks about what Darshan does and what Darshan thinks, because he's only 39. I mean, it's just a young buck. I mean, we've all been 39. Nobody could tell us anything. We were so hard-headed.
Believe in science, what my senses tell you. But God says, he who formed the eye, shall he not see? God made your eyes. He who planted the ear, shall he not hear? God sees and hears.
And of course, if this was a real conversation, I'd be saying, how do you know God did that? And talk about evolution, because that has a lot of evidence.
Everything that we do. And Lutch and everybody else listening, every single day, we are either making God proud he made us, or we're making God ashamed that he made us.
I hope, if there is a God, that he is extremely ashamed that I wouldn't follow his evil plans for this race. If you have an issue with what I've said, then you can read the Bible yourself and see that God is evil. And the mental gymnastics they use is that because it's God, whatever God does is therefore good. So God can kill people. God can tell you to take your only son to the mountaintop and kill him because I said so. But that's good because it's God. It's called the tautology, or circular reasoning.
Every single day, we're making God proud he made us, or we're making God ashamed that he made us.
Henry, I think you should watch my channel. I think aside from the direct religious things, I think every value that you hold is wholly represented by the things that I talk about. I think that if you actually had a mind that was open enough to listen to somebody who didn't hold your beliefs, that you and I would agree on a lot, and that you and I could probably have some very progressive conversations and probably learn a lot from each other. But I don't think that's possible because I am not a Christian.
Why is it not possible? You were.
When somebody says because, especially after they've made a claim, if you want to know why, just do nothing. Because the word because usually precedes an explanation. But that's, there's this thing called active listening instead of just listening for your turn to talk. Alice says, foraging was, I love this point. Foraging was science. My ancestors revolutionized hunting and gathering from Cambrian explosions through Stone Age and Göbekli Tempe. I am just a black sheep from the fam bam. I don't know what all of that means, but if I think what Al is saying is that religion originally was one and the same with science. At one point, religion was our best ability to understand the world around us. And then we learned more. And some people decided that they were happy with where we were. And, the Bible is the Bible, and all of this new
We're here. We're here. We're here. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. All right.
All right. I don't know what the hell just happened, but whew, struggle streaming for real. Oh my god. Yay. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's get back to it. Where were we? So yeah, at one time, religion was the best understanding of the world that we had, and then we did more. We learned more. And there's, the only honest way to continue throughout our throughout humanity is to trust the best tools that we have, and right now, that is the scientific method. But far be it for me to convince anybody else. And it says, I hate when I'm impatiently cut off for an explanation when I'm in the middle of explaining something. Me too. So let's make sure the sound is still good here. I'll just back it up and you guys let me know if you can't hear it.
And that you and I could probably have some very progressive conversations and probably learn a lot from each other. But I don't think that's possible because I am not a Christian.
Why is it not possible? You were doing great.
I'm explaining that to you. I am explaining that to you. If you would let me talk, I just sat there quietly while you said all of those things about me, did I not? So I would appreciate if you would extend the same courtesy.
So when you're in situations like this, because again, I could easily have started yelling and thank you, sir. I could have started yelling and calling names, and I would have been within my rights because of the way that I was being treated. But that doesn't look good, does it? I'm not that guy. I can clearly see this man does not know who he's talking to. Not that I'm some amazing figure, but just that he doesn't know. That he thinks that I'm probably some leftist atheist who uses the government for religion and demonetized or demonized. And it's just yeah. So I could have started yelling, but all you have to do when people are trying to treat you like this, instead of yelling, instead of calling names, is to simply assert your right to be in the conversation. I was invited on this panel. I was, I was asked questions, and I'm trying to answer them. I'm trying to have a conversation, and this person is not treating them fairly. So pay attention to how I handled it.
Explaining that to you if you would let go from each other. But I don't think that's possible because I am not a Christian.
Why is it not possible? You were doing great.
I'm explaining that to you. I am explaining that to you if you would let me talk. I just sat there quietly while you said all of those things about me, did I not? So I would appreciate if you would extend the same courtesy.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying because
guys, if you could get me to 15 likes, I would be super happy. Like so happy.
Because you are saying all these things about me, due to the fact that you don't know me, you've never watched my content. My content is not about knowing everything. My content is about exactly the fact that I don't know things, and exactly the fact that we should explore more, and exactly the fact that we should listen to people who think and believe different things than us. And I think, by and large, that you would say that people should listen to others, and that we could learn a lot from others. And I think that we would just definitely disagree on a lot. But I think that we would be able to have fantastic conversations where both you and I and the viewers as well would be able to learn a lot. However, I don't think that would be possible based on the way that you've comported yourself in this conversation.
And just to flex a little bit, I was, like I said, I was watching something. I was in my bed. I clicked the thing, subscription things. I saw Darshan was live. I clicked on it. I heard my name, popped the thing on my phone. I wasn't thinking, Morty's got to go outside now. Like, he's got to go. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this. And y'all know I'll go. I'm not going to be the one to bow out. So I'm like, all right, I got to take him. So you can hear him barking in the background because there's another a dog going all over and then there's a dude using the blower to get rid of his leaves. So I'm not just, sitting and this is me on a stroll. This is me on a stroll. Thank you, buddy. 15 is a little over Jesus. Oh, wait, that's Arab Jesus. Exactly. I am the Indian Jesus. Yeah, Lutch really cares. You can tell by his voice getting shaky. Yeah. I'm actually, I didn't think that you guys would hear that. That's a little embarrassing, but we're going to run it back anyway. Damn it. But yeah, I was nervous. I was like, I'm trying to be, there's two older gentlemen on the panel. It's not my platform. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but I'm being disrespected to a level that I haven't seen since Anarude. So I'm doing my best. So Vincent, call me out. All right. So I'm gonna back it up. I want you to hear, just whatever.
I think that could learn a lot large, that you would say that people should listen to others, and that we could learn a lot from others.
Hey, we got Indie Film in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, hey, thank you, Indie Film. You guys don't got to do that. As long as you like the video, I appreciate the fact that you guys are here. The game, got to try to get them numbers up. If there's anybody new who doesn't know how hard I am hustling with this channel, I am hustling. So, them likes. Yep. Vincent, he can read me like a book that I didn't read. Yeah. Okay.
And I think that we would just definitely disagree on a lot, but I think that we would be able to have fantastic conversations where both you and I and the viewers as well would be able to learn a lot. However, I don't think that would be possible based on the way that you've comported yourself in this conversation. That is why.
And now a word from our sponsor, folks. You see, you got that rundown feeling. Folks, it's bottle of Geritol right here. It's the miracle of the ages.
See, this is not a conversation.
It's just a dollar.
This is not a conversation. This is what people do when they don't know what to say in a conversation. This is what people do when they just say things. You know how on my channel we talk about people just say things. This person is just sitting here on Darshan's panel, wasting your time just saying things with no proof, no reason to do so, and cannot back it up. Back up anything that you've said.
Shout out to Darshan giving me the full screen. I was outside. I didn't even notice it.
About yourself, about God, or about me. You cannot do it because you've simply just made empty claims.
Why is it about you?
It's not about me. It's about you, and it's about your BS. It's about you BSing people. It's about you acting like you know that I'm wrong when you have never heard me speak. You don't know anything about me or my past. You don't know what I studied and not studied. You don't know anything about my life. Yet you think you are in a position to sit here and preach to Darshan's viewers about what should or shouldn't be. Don't you think it would be more appropriate to have the conversation with me first and then make that determination? Or do you just know everything because you're 65 years old? Is that how it is?
Wrong. It's not about you.
So then what gives you the authority to make all of these claims about me?
You keep saying me, you.
Yes, you're talking about me. I turned on my computer. I turned on my computer and saw my friend Darshan was live. So I clicked on the link and I hear the IndianJesus is a heretic. So what puts you in the position?
Yeah, it is.
What puts you in the position to make these claims about me if you don't know who I am and you've never heard anything I've said?
Why has it got to be about you? We're tired of.
Hey, we got Ron in the building. Welcome, Ron, the owner and sponsor. Well, not the owner, but the sponsor of this stream, my6shirts.com. Go get your very own IndianJesus and anything else there. Welcome, Ron. Glad to see you, buddy. I'm going to back that up because I don't want to get in the middle of the drama.
The position.
Yeah, it is.
What puts you in the position to make these claims about me if you don't know who I am and you've never heard anything I've said?
Right.
Again, oh, brother. What did I say that was, oh, brother? I think that's a very rational question to ask in that situation when somebody is saying, oh, you this, you need to do that. You are this, you are not that, you are that. And then doesn't answer one single question except, have you read the Bible?
Why has it got to be about you? We're tired of talking about
you. Brought me up, bro, because you brought it up. If you were talking about daisies and rainbows, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd still be watching you talk, but you said my name, so here I am. Okay. That's why we're talking about it.
Your name is Lutch.
Yes, you said it, didn't you? Did you or did you not say?
Did he or did he not say Lutch before I got on the call? That's specifically why I stopped it there. Because exactly. Because I knew that he was going to say, well, I didn't say the Indian Jesus. I wouldn't say. No, you were talking about me. And so now let's talk. You had so much to say before I got there. But now you can't even answer a simple I'm worse, baby. Well, now you can't answer a single question. You can't answer anything. I go up on this long tirade that puts everything in order. Lay it out, spell it out for you. And now I'm messing to it. Okay.
Hey, Lutch, before I came on the panel.
Okay, there you go. Anyway, Sean, what we were talking about was people who haven't served.
Let me bring this full circle real quick.
Okay.
And again, how quickly he tries to, oh yeah, Sean, remember we were talking about before that didn't have to do with Lutch so that I can get the fuck out of this? Yeah, I'm fucked up.
Just real quick, let me bring this full circle. So the Indian Jesus, I do thank you for coming up. And if you have time, please stay. The whole point of this stream was to talk about whether basically how do you give your energy to something. And I read a message to Henry. I know him for a very long time, practically my whole entire life.
Hey, we got Make America Meme again in the building. Bam, 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 bam. You got it. You got it. You got it. Vincent, I'm not saying that. Y'all can read it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying I'm superstitious. I'm just not reading it.
And I get an opportunity to share things with him, through my company newsletters and stuff like that. And of course, as you know, it's no secret by now, but he sent you an email talking about the Indian Jesus name and stuff like that. So he took it personal.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I knew that people were sending me emails, but I didn't, it's not like I was like, oh yeah, that's Henry. So I had no idea who this was. I think I had it open, right? So this is a message to a stranger. You are not Jesus! All caps. 3 exclamation points. Indian or otherwise. You did not get beaten, crucified, or died. I didn't get died. You did not get beaten, crucified, or die on the cross is what you meant to say, Henry. To save anyone from going to hell for eternity. That's because hell isn't real. Only Jesus Christ did that. And you sure as hell ain't him. Again. Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? Change your name today and keep Jesus out of it. People get killed over this every day in the world. People get killed over my YouTube channel. Okay. Don't you be one of them. Trying to grow a YouTube channel. That's not a sentence. Or maybe a question. Trying to grow a YouTube channel? Yes would be the answer. And where's the rest of and that was my response. Are you sure? Are you sure? So I'm surprised it didn't end up in spam. Yeah, I mean, it's from a Gmail account, so usually those will go through. So let's finish up with this conversation, and then I want to hear from you guys. Darshan, well, Henry has first dibs if he wants to come up, and then Darshan if he wants to come up, and then whoever else would like to come up as soon as we are finished here. When we're not this, it doesn't go on for the whole thing. I'm on for like another, that's as far as I go.
And that's okay. You're able to take things personal. The reason I brought you up is because I was talking to him and said, well, listen, man, I got to take advantage of this whole YouTube thing since I got the channel monetized. Let me give it a shot and see how to do this whole streaming thing and talk about things that is unfamiliar territory to me, things that I typically don't give my energy to.
He's monetized, guys. Go and send those super chats. And then when I get monetized, super chats galore.
So because I know he's passionate about, basically, I'll put it in this reference, Blue Lives Matter. and Black Lives Matter. But for Henry, it's more so that everyone matters, right? So I said, well, let me read the message to him and see what. So again, that's how this whole conversation started. Now, whether you two don't see eye to eye at a particular moment, that's between you two. But I kind of wanted to pull a little devil's advocate from the Indian Jesus here, play a contrarian for a second. And
all right, so if you're not paying attention, make sure you're paying attention, because now Darshan is just pay attention.
He's good.
I don't know if I really like it too much. I think that's my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Indian Jesus is about to go off.
You're right.
That's completely
So that's
fine.
how it started.
That's completely fine. I just think that you should listen to people and see who they are before you make judgments about who they are. Judge people based on their character, their actions, their words, and you'll be all right. If you just listen to people who tell you what to believe about others, then I promise you will be led astray. People are
words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Shawnee,
I'll let you guys go. I didn't want to, I heard my name.
I wish you guys could have seen my face when he said words of wisdom. After all that, that's, I mean, is that you're bowing out and say, well, I lost that one? And again, the notion of losing, winning, whatever, I never came into anything to try to win anything. That's the misconception, that because I can handle myself in a conversation, in a heated debate, that all I care about is winning. Like, I'm sorry if I'm just right. If you're wrong, that's not my fault. And I don't usually argue about things unless I know that I'm right. Because that would be stupid. And I could look stupid. So I ask questions and I learn things. And then, when I have enough information, I realize, oh, okay, this is what I think. And it's not set in stone, because new information can continue to roll in, and I can change my mind at any point. But that's not allowed for the Christians. That's not allowed for the religious. You've got your dogma. You have to listen to exactly what's being said. And someone is over here on this side of the internet, not preaching fairy tales, actually talking about real conversations, real things that people can do to better their lives and better the world that they live in. Can't let that kind of person talk. He's an atheist. Damn atheists.
So I just wanted to come up and represent my side. But again, I believe that, instead of judging, the entire point behind being an atheist named the Indian Jesus is to challenge the idea of these labels. And you may think that you know everything about me by those things, but I guarantee you don't.
Okay.
So, what the fuck are you laughing at? Like, exactly, you prove the exact point. That as an atheist who, leans towards the right as of these days, being called the Indian Jesus, it's going to get this kind of response from people. And the fact is, it's showing on your side that simply because I have a moniker, that you're going to treat me a certain way. This all started about racism and this and that. And how is it any different? Theoretically, obviously, I'm not being, obviously it's not exactly the same. That's not what I'm saying. But by its nature, how is what you're doing to me any different than the type of unfair treatment that you get because of the color of your skin? How is that any different? You're judging before you know. You're being prejudiced. You're being bigoted. But it's okay, because it's not. It goes in that direction.
Just look a little deeper.
Well, let's.
Even while I'm on my way out, he can't stop interrupting me.
Thank you so much for giving us the insight that you have given.
These are the words. The thank you so much for coming up. That's for Darshan to say. It's not your platform, brother.
Us, and really seriously, thanks for coming on, because without you playing the devil's advocate, you're right.
And that is how the religious will always maintain their arrogance, that they're always right, because that's all this was to him. All this was is me playing devil's advocate. It couldn't possibly be that somebody actually thinks these things. Maybe if you listened and found out where they came from and why I think what I think and what I think in the first place, then you realize I'm not playing a devil's advocate. This is who I am. This is what I think. This is what I believe. And if you don't believe it, that's fine. But you're just wrong. And your film said, should have said there is no devil. What would that have accomplished? What would that have accomplished? Could have been funny, but what would that have accomplished? Instead, he was trying to passively aggressively dismiss you and your points without the evidence or anything. That's what people do when they just say things. They just say things, and they don't have anything to back it up. I'm sure you could find some stuff that I have said on this channel that I can't back up with evidence or proof, like hard evidence proof. But those things are either opinions or things that I'm very open-minded about. And maybe I lean a certain way. But at the end of the day, I am perfectly happy saying I don't know. You remember in the beginning when he asked, how do you know anything's real? As if that was a gotcha question. Anybody who's taking Philosophy 101 can answer that question, as I did, quite handedly. And he wasn't ready for it. So maybe, even though I've only been around for 32 years, and maybe, even though you've been here for 65, maybe, just maybe, I'm not only half as smart as you. Is it okay that you give me that courtesy before judging who I am and telling me how to live my life? Didn't think so. Hey, we got Sketchy Plays in the building. Welcome, buddy. You missed the whole fucking thing. You missed the whole thing. But this is directly relevant to you. So I definitely suggest you catch the replay on this one. There's a lot. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We're almost to panel time. So let's just finish this up and get there.
Put the so-called believer, you say you're an atheist, you put the so-called believers on the spot. You really test them. You really test them, see if you really do believe in Jesus, if you really do believe in God. But the test, because I believe in Satan, I believe in science. So it's science.
When did I say I believe in Satan? And he fell and said, wait, that Henry guy is 65? Good for him. I'll have full out dementia by then. Yeah, I mean, it's not like, I mean, you guys are young, so 65 was like old to you. I remember thinking 65 was like walking around with a cane. Like my dad's 70, he's not like great shape, but he can do his thing. Now, Sketchy, you never ever have to apologize for being late. The fact that you show up at all means the fucking world to me, and that's not just to Sketchy. That is to all of you guys. I was doing this when nobody was watching, and it was not nearly as much fun. So the fact that you guys are here just to say hello means the world to me. Means the world to me. Yeah, I never said I believe in Satan. I said I believe in science, and those are two very different things.
Really test them. You really tested them, see if you really do believe in Jesus.
But he is right. The reason I asked him whether or not he believes in, when I asked him if he read the Bible, if he believes the whole thing or if he believes some of it, if you believe the whole thing, then I can call out the bullshit of the Bible. If you pick and choose, then I can ask you, by what mechanism, by what authority can you say, oh, this verse doesn't count and this verse does? How do you know better than God? Either way, you fucked. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
If you really do believe in God, but the test, because I believe in Satan, I believe in science. So it's science and Satan against God. But you know one thing, all science comes from God. Only thing science does is prove God right. Smoke on that one. Think about that one. Anyway,
on that one.
Let's next time we get together. Seriously, anytime you see us on, come and join, because really, you do add fire. You do add fire. That devil's advocates, you know, that you know, it makes it real. You know, so
this is the arrogance that atheists deal with all of the goddamn time. And so when I say to keep religion out of your politics, this is why. Because we hear this, that we don't know any better, and we're just playing around, and we're just a devil's advocate, we believe in Satan, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You're just wrong, motherfucker. Take the L. Take the L. Vincent says, your channel is the Indian Jesus, not the Indian Satan. He confused atheist and Satanist. Many do. They hear not Christian, and then the thought stops, and everybody else is evil. Much like, if you're not a leftist, you're not part of the club. Sketch Play says, I mean, I'm a Christian, and I literally don't see how your name is offensive to religion. Like, what? How are you a heretic or contribute to blasphemy? I think this is just a bunch of fake wannabe Christians. Sketchy, you're not going to like this. But you're wrong. My name, the name of this channel is the definition of blasphemy. It's taking the Lord's name in vain. And the notion that I would call myself Jesus, that is what blasphemy is to either worship a false god, or especially pretending, acting like you are a god. But of course, because Jesus is a character in a fictional story, I'm pretty sure if this channel was called the Indian Captain America, nobody would have an issue with it. But because I offended their sky daddy, then, you know. But to be fair, to be fair to him, he's right. He's the real Christian. He's the real Christian. If you don't believe if you haven't read the Bible, you don't believe in every word of the Bible, then I don't care what your church says. That is not what Christianity is. That's just some other thing that you're doing. And that's fine. You're free to do that. It's America. You can do whatever the hell you want. But it's not Christianity. Indie Film says, him hating your name is racist. If you were Mexican, it would be fine. Oh! Indie Film coming in with the hot take. JH said, he's a true believer and you are living a lie. Maybe. You wouldn't say what? Vincent said, I thought it was just because you look like Jesus. It is! I grew my hair out, and then Jesse on Fire was like, yo, you should change your name to the Indian Jesus. I was like, oh, yeah, word. A lot of people would be into that. And because you're Indian. He's not and he's not Native American. Indian, y'all. Yeah. Thank you. I am thank you. Come again. ... That is the type of Indian that I am. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is blasphemy. There is no question about that. There's no question. But the point is, what do you do about that? Do you handle it like Henry? Or, again, we got a couple minutes here, and then I want to hear from you guys.
But again, kudos. If you want to follow that route, and you are, you know, you're good at it. You're good at it.
That route, instead of just, oh, you're being yourself, and you are a unique individual. You'll probably go far on this platform because not many people are like you. Instead of saying that, if you want to go this route, or you're going to be the Satanist devil's advocate. Okay, dude.
But anyway,
thank you, Henry. All right. Well, like I said, I implore you to check out. I implore you guys to check out the content and judge for yourself. The Indian Jesus official. Talking about politics, culture, philosophy, anything that matters, and trying to get to the bottom of what really is. So come on over. We try to make it a party. We try to get into deep stuff, but we make it a fun time. And whether it's Henry or anyone else, I really implore you to actually judge the content based on what it really is. Hope to see you over there.
Sounds groovy.
Sure. All right. I dropped your link in the chat as well, man. Thank you for swinging by.
So at this point, after I had gotten off of StreamYard. So if you've ever been up here, you know that when you click on the StreamYard link, it goes away from YouTube and we watch it from in there. So I just, I want to see what they were going to say about me afterwards. So we'll watch a little bit of what they say afterwards, and then they move on. Indie Film is correct here. So Jesus loves everyone that leads a good life, even atheists. That's what the Bible says. I don't know. See in heaven. I don't believe it exists, but if it does, I will be glad to see you there. So let's finish that up.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Whenever you're ready, Sketchy.
Yeah.
Well, Sonny, like we were saying before, if a person hasn't served in first responders, if you have served in the fire department, you haven't served in the police department, you're
just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Henry, you coming up? The link is in the chat. Now's the time to speak up for yourself.
You're not a veteran, you haven't served in the military, you haven't served in the government, a notary even, anything in the judicial system, the courts, nothing. You have nothing to do with the government whatsoever, then you're a civilian. That's in any country. In every country, it's always split up that way. Every country, you're either government or you're the civilian, one of the two. And but for the civilians to criticize the government, saying, "Oh, you guys are doing your job all wrong. Well, you should have just arrested him. You should have just done this and that." Like I said, coming in at the end of the movie, when you should be in the beginning of the movie with us, wearing the same uniform that we're wearing. It ain't easy to pull somebody over. You see, their tags out or a lights out. You see them swerving back and forth. It takes guts to have to put your lights on and pull it over. All the windows are tinted on that SUV. There could be 6 guys in there, all got Uzis, automatic weapons ready to cut you up, But you got to be brave to go and walk up there, and, tap on the glass and get them to lower the glass down. And they could lower the glass down, and you're looking down the barrel of a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun. Is the last thing you'll ever see. But that's the kind of risk cops take every single day and night, and it's not easy. But again,
and let me go into this real quick. Just give everybody a little recap of your history so they can understand where you're coming from and why you sound and are passionate. Particular topic.
Okay, sure.
Do you think it's weird? Do you think it's weird that you just get into a heated debate and then I leave the panel and then you don't address what just happened? I feel like that's weird. Is that just me? Let me know what you guys think.
I joined the Marine Corps when I was 21, and I did 6 years in, 4 years regular, and 2 years in.
Alice says getting turned is universal. We don't all need drums and backup dancers or be all about the blood. I don't really understand what that means, but getting turned is in fact universal. Al, you should come up. I would love to have a conversation with you. I feel like you know a lot about this kind of stuff. You're saying lots of names and stuff. Come on up.
Active in the reserves. Been to Okinawa, Japan, been around the world. I got out.
All right, let's just
in
see.
82 when 1982 went into
just want to see if I mean they have a whole conversation here. We don't need to listen. And I mean, definitely go check out the stream if you are interested. The link is in the description, but for our purposes.
it's the end of law.
I guess that is the long and short of it. So, real quick, Indie Film says, I think he has a few. I think he had a few issues with the Pharisees, aka the government. What? Oh, Jesus! Yeah. Yeah, well, they were having a conversation earlier. So all right, so guys, Sanzik and Sketch, just hang out. You know, I'm gonna bring up their Sean first, and then I'll bring you guys up. But yeah, they were having a conversation earlier and about, you know, just society and stuff, and they were talking about you know, if you haven't served in some way, then you know, you again, I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know exactly what it was, but you, in order to have an opinion on this, that, or the other, whatever it was, that you should have served in some way. The weird part to me is that he just went through all of that with me, and then so anyway, about being in law enforcement, like, hold on, bro, like, a thing just happened. People are watching. That didn't happen in the dark. This is on the internet. Everybody just saw that. You're not gonna address that. And Any Film says, yes, Jesus was a civilian who was not a fan of government, especially after it crucified him. Yeah, I bet. What do you know? I'm a civilian, and I'm not a fan of the government. I hope they don't crucify me, but you never know. Oh, excuse me. And it says, when religious people judge others, it reminds me of that scene in the movie Legion where the old lady says, your baby's gonna burn. Funny as fuck, and that scene turned me RP. The movie Legion. Well, I don't remember that movie. I remember the show, like the X-Men show. Oh, look who we got here. The man himself, D-Mac, Darshawn McAway. How are you, sir?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm good, and thank you for pulling me up. Greatly appreciate it. Very interesting video reaction to watch myself and someone talk about what I'm doing is hilarious.
So what did you think? Give me the scoop.
No, so let me say this first. So first and foremost, let me say this, because you had pointed something out. If I'm just going to point out one thing from the direct message that I totally forgot about, which was the acknowledgement of reading a message on a public platform. So I want to say I do apologize to you and Dr. Evil, because I didn't take it that way, because I thought you guys had talked about it on the platform already, which is why I had spoke about it on my platform.
Oh, good. Yeah, just you know, if especially those of us who are new in the space, sometimes you just do stuff that you don't really know. So just for everybody to know, if you're going to talk about private messages with somebody or on your platform, it's not even a thing of asking, but just to give the person a heads up. That's all he's talking about. But of course, I knew that you were doing it in good faith, and all's good, baby.
So now let me tear into your ass, right?
All right, I'm ready for it.
No, so this is how the whole thing started, especially between you and Henry. I have a very huge newsletter where I send out, hey, I'm going to be on somebody's platform. And Henry has been following me for years. I know him personally, but he's been following me for years. And I always send people like updates of what I'm doing. So he saw your podcast when I got on both times talking about my books. And then he saw me again on your podcast when I was asking you about the whole IndianJesus. When I don't know if I was the first person to kind of talk to you about it, but maybe publicly it was like, hey man, are you sure you want to go that route? And this is why.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And this is why, because of people like Henry, I was thinking for you, like, man, I don't know, because there are some people that's going to really take it offensively. Are you sure you want to do this? You know? So what happened was, through email, text messages, they're all the same to me. He had expressed his concern about, hey, you tell Lutch to change his name. He's like, better yet, I'll tell him, you know. So which is why you got the email. And I wanted to get my point across when reading the messages before I triggered him, because I know he does not like when people use the name Jesus or God in vain. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll save the name for later, because I needed to get through my monologue.
Yeah, I think that was smart. And just real quick, I do like, I'm not saying that you have to love me. I'm not for everybody. That's fine. If you don't like the fact that I'm using the name of who you believe is the Lord, then you can block this channel and you can block me on social media and I'm out of your existence.
Yeah. So I thought that you two handled it extremely poorly on my platform, because I dislike when people speak over the other person, because I really want the listeners to know where someone is coming from. And I get people are passionate about it, but I promise you, if you just let the other person speak and table your thought, you're going to have a great conversation. I'm about listening, and I see that that's what you were trying to do. But again, that was Henry's moment to really come at you the way he needed to for himself. And that's something that everybody has to understand, is that I let you rock out. I just don't want anybody talking over each other, because there's nothing that's going to get resolved. And that whole interaction, reviewing my audio, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I really like the whole trying to be a drama type thing to be in the algorithm, because I listen to you and the lead attorney, and I say, I don't really know if that's my wheelhouse. It made me feel uncomfortable. It drained me of my energy. I actually went to go get a alcoholic beverage, because I was like, man, that shit was crazy. Excuse me. I was like, man, that stuff was crazy, man. I don't know if I want to go.
You can go wild here. You can say whatever you want.
For sure. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something, but I don't know if I'm gonna touch on like anything towards religion or racism. I just want to kind of stay out of there, because again, like you said, some people hold on to it for a long time and they don't know how to get over it. And they do use YouTube as a way to vent.
And I definitely had to learn that I definitely needed to learn that even though that's not me, I feel like that is most people. Like, I'm very, there's recently like relatively recently, there's this notion of the extroverted introvert. And it sounds like such a silly thing that some girl will be like, oh my God, my astrology shit. But it really, really, really accurately represents who I am.
Yeah.
Because I barely ever leave my apartment. If I'm not in this chair, I'm in my bed watching YouTube. If I'm in this chair, I'm talking on YouTube. And, obviously I got my job and shit, but outside of that. And so I definitely understand what you're saying about, people using this platform for that reason. That's exactly what I do. But before long before, like I said, this is who I am. So I've been being this person in real life, just out there. And I really had to learn that not everybody is like me, and most people aren't. But in the sense that they can't just get into these conversations and get heated and then just take a step back, and it was what it was. And I don't blame anybody for not wanting to interact with me at all because of my energy. But this IndianJesus thing is going places. And I gotta go through the rungs and such, but this is the kind of personality that I believe I can make work, and it's finally clicking. Like, I was always wrong, because even if I was right, then the way I would come at somebody, or the way I would respond to somebody, I don't know if you noticed, but I feel like I did everything I could to keep things civil. And the only time I raised my voice is when he said, you keep saying me. Motherfucker, you're talking about me. What do you mean I'm talking about me? The whole thing is that you're talking about me. Why do you keep talking about me? Why do you keep talking about me? Other than that, I think if you go back and watch it, I was very calm. I was being interrupted. I was the one being interrupted. And I definitely understand that, this is, if this isn't your lane, that's why I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna let you guys go. I could tell you were not comfortable with what was going on. I can tell that you don't want this to be, what your channel is. And so I didn't want to go too far, but At the same time, you know, if you're gonna make a stream about, hey, the Indian Jesus did this, I'm gonna bring on a guy who doesn't like the Indian Jesus. I gotta stick up for myself.
Right, for sure. And I'm glad, you know, looking at it from the entertainment aspect to the viewers is probably fantastic. But just me personally, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do something else just a little bit different, and I'm gonna have a different outline. And I had actually told Henry that after the stream. Now, I want to say this now, a little bit further into the stream. I think we did bring you up again because I mentioned about you being like just who you are. And I'm glad I got a chance to say that, because a lot of times we judge people and we think that somebody's lacking in something. And that at first, when I first heard about you, that's kind of how I perceived you until I started watching your videos. And I was like, oh, no, that's just who he is. You know, and that's something that's important to me, to look at people and be like, oh, okay, no, this person isn't missing anything. That's just how they think, you know, which is why I rock out on your channel. And you know me, man, I'm definitely in support of what you're doing, because you're trying to make some money, you know, and I'm all about when people trying to make some money. So I definitely support what you're doing and whatnot. But yeah, man, good reaction video. Man, let me tell you something. It's so weird watching yourself on somebody else's live stream and hearing yourself talking. I'm like, I'm critiquing myself like, okay, I need to get a better connection to my modem because I hear the audio chopping. I need to make myself look a little bit more handsome and maybe put on a little bit more jewelry. You know, I'm thinking of stuff like that.
You're like, oh, nice glasses. He's got the chain. He's got all of that.
Yeah.
But I just before you jump out, I just want to gauge this. So there's no wrong answer. Don't feel like you're gonna offend me. But if you had to, let's say there's two reasons that I have this channel, is to make the world a better place and to make money. If you had, based on everything that you know about me, what split would you say percentage-wise that I'm in this for money, and what percentage would you say I'm in for you know, making an impact?
I would say you're definitely in 95% in making an impact and 5% money. And the only reason I say that is because before I emailed you, I looked at all your other videos. I did so much extensive research about you that I can pretty much gauge what you're trying to do. And you have so much conviction in what you talk about that you would like for the money to be added, but you're really about making an impact.
Interesting. I thought you were going to say it a little bit less, and that because you know, I'm not hiding the fact that I'm out after some money. Like if I could do this and nothing else, like praise the real, I'll believe in real Jesus. But that is really you know, that means a lot to me that you can see that. I think you know, even to be fair, it might even be closer to like a 80-20 thing, because I'm not trying to have another job. I can't do another job. But you're absolutely right, and I knew I wasn't sure if it was something that we were talking about afterwards or if it was in the stream, because I did end up watching the rest of the stream. But you know, the fact that you said that, you said something along the, when I first met him, I think I thought there was something amiss, and so that's what everybody thinks. And then it's like, yo, trust me. And if you just ride with me for a little bit, I'm telling y'all, I got this. And so I appreciate you riding long enough to see that in me. And thank you for providing this content for the night.
Hey, for sure, man. Thanks for doing the reaction video. And again, I want to give out my sincere apologies for reading a message that was deemed to be private. And if Dr. Evil is listening, yeah, I apologize to you too, man. Because you know, I don't know, just something I had to get off my chest, and it was something I wanted to try just by listening to you guys and trying to try different things with the YouTube thing. Because I don't make I can start making money from it now, but I don't make money from YouTube per se. And just real quick, there's a side note for you to make money before your super chats come in. Why don't you, this is just a suggestion, why don't you reach out to some of those authors that when you do a stream, tell them that they can run an ad through your stream, and you just do like a little I don't know, like a little infomercial that coincides with what you're talking about.
You see what's rolling across the street, across the screen right now, mysixshirt.com. We had Ron in the chat. He is the sponsor. He told me he just wants to, he can't pay much, and he knows I'm, a small channel, and he just wants to get the ground floor. So Ron, if you're still here, every stream I've been shouting out mysixshirts.com, and I love it. He made this, and I love that too. And yeah, man, I appreciate that. There are people who can, like yourself, who can see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to be able to do it, and that is perfectly okay. But I just ask that you watch the content first, see what it is that I'm saying, and then judge me based on what it is that I say, and not how I look or what label I associate with or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's it. So I'm going to give you the floor. I know you are the king of the promotion. So without further ado, people go, please check out DMAC. The floor is yours.
Hey, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this reaction video. I tried to do my very best at being professional as possible. Come on over to my channel. Check me out. We got a lot of different things we're going to be talking about. The Indian Jesus has always been supporting me, so I really do appreciate you guys for your time. And once again, go check out wowpodcast.me. That's WOWPODCAST.me. Trust me, you won't be disappointed.
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, man. Well, if there is anything else that comes up, please, we always can revisit this. Like I said, the episodes of the I Didn't Read Your Book podcast that Darshan and I did are still up right on this channel. You can search Girlfriend versus Wife Duties. You can search Anaya's Adventures, or you can just search Darshan McAway, and you will find them. Thank you so much for coming up, brother. I really appreciate it.
All right, salute.
Peace. All right, Sanzik, you good? Sketchy dipped out. Good. All right, we got Sanzik in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Talk to me, brother. What did you think of all this?
It just amazes me how something can be made out of nothing, a mountain out of a molehill.
Right. It's. Can you imagine my so like, the first thing about, and again, I don't want to harp on the fact that Darshan read the DMs. Obviously he didn't mean to, no big deal, but because those were DMs, I didn't expect anybody to be talking about it. Sunday afternoon, I'm just chilling. I was like, oh, Darshan's live. He's been doing more shit with his channel on the YouTube side. I think most of his stuff is through Facebook. I think a lot of authors have more reach on Facebook or whatever. But anyway, anytime he's live, anytime any of you guys, if you guys have channels, first you can always come up here and plug them. That's part of the reason why I do this panel time thing. Learning from TLA. He gave me a lot of exposure, but also the notion that we just want to talk about what is what's helping, and if we're all working on this stuff together. Vincent said he's going to start a channel every 3 times a week. I stream. That's I only got right under 400 now, but that's going to grow, and I appreciate that. So when I see you guys doing stuff like that, I want to help as much as I can. And but
we should have like a race to see who can get to like 1,000 first or something.
Nah, I don't want to do that, because here's the thing is that we all have different goals, and we also sketchy. I see you. We have different goals, and we have different styles. We have different audiences, and so the the channel that you might have, as let's say you're doing a gaming channel, that's gonna have a very different audience, and so you getting to 1,000 subscribers is going to be very different than what I'm doing. All I care about is that we're doing well. That's all I care about. If you got 20,000 subscribers and you got some shitty thumbnails, I'd love to be able to be like, yo, you can get to 30, 50, 100K if you just do this. And you can tell me, oh, yo, I got to 20, but whatever it is. But any thoughts on Henry himself and how he addressed the conversation?
That he didn't. A lot of people, it's not even that they talk just to talk, it's that they talk, but they don't expect anything different than what they've already heard for most of their lives.
That's absolutely right. We got Sketchy in the building. What's going on, brother?
Sir.
What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing much.
What do you think of all this?
Well, obviously, I will eventually go to and play it back till the beginning.
Oh, you came at the end, right? Okay. So that interesting.
Yeah.
So what did you see, and what do you think is going on?
So far, what I see is I think that they're just coming at you for a name you chose to put out there. It's not like you're representing anyone. It's not like you're just, what am I trying to say? It's not like you're trying to start a cult or anything. You're just trying to spread your opinion. Like,
well, I think, yeah. And Henry's issue, again, is that using the name Jesus or God as, and I'm saying, obviously it's tongue in cheek, but I am in fact saying that I am the Jesus. And again, it's tongue in cheek, but that's not a joke to some people, and that's completely fine. You know, my parents are quite religious and don't love the fact that I'm using their Lord and Savior as my mascot and whatever. But welcome to America. I mean, you know, the fact is, it's that there's plenty of people who don't agree with what you know, the Bible says, don't agree with your interpretation of the Bible. That doesn't give you the right to tell them, because he didn't say, hey, I think it would be a good idea if you changed your channel. I think it would be I think you might offend some people if you do this. So I'm looking up. If he came at me like that, then we would have a very different conversation.
Yeah.
But it's from a place of authority. You need to change your channel today. And also just claiming things that you just saying things. The saying things. Stop doing that, people. You see how when you actually get to somebody who will call you out on that shit, there is no coming back, because you are in fact just saying things, and that's it. So either don't say it or learn what it is. That, are you eating chips on my fucking panel right now, Sketchy?
No, I'm eating a popsicle.
All right. Well, hey, we got Wesley Curry the second in the building. Welcome, welcome. Said, hi, oh, it's the Simultide kids. Wow, super snore. Well, you're welcome to come on up. The link is in the chat. I'll drop it again. Oh, we lost Sketchy.
Did he?
Okay. Wesley, if you want to come up and anything that you want to say, you are welcome to say it. Something tells me Wesley is not going to come up. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know, this was a show really for those of you who, I have no idea, JH. I have no idea. I thought he was eating live mice. Let's get back. And yeah, I don't know what a similitude is, and I don't know what an otter pop is. But this was definitely a stream for you, those of you who have put the time in and have learned enough about me that this stuff means something to you, in the sense that you understand the context of what's going on. Sketchy will get it on the replay. And hopefully this is doing what I hope it did, and shows you the very real passion that I have for the things that I talk about. Well, looky who we've got. All right, I got so let's do this. Hello, Wesley Lawrence Curry II. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm pretty good. What is the similitude, kids?
It's pronounced similitude.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a biblical word. It's Not really the reason I logged on here to talk, but it's not something that's meant to be understood. It's meant to confound. So
fair enough. So then, what did you want to come up here for?
Well, my name's Wes. I'm in Huntington, West Virginia, and for many years I lived in Chicago. And when I was there, in my life's path, I ran into 4 guys that built a device into a green Volvo station wagon car. Green is Beryl, B-E-R-Y-L. And there is the device they built into it is a nuclear bomb. And it's going to be detonated in Chicago. It's going to melt the Twin Towers in the city, and radiation is going to force everyone in the city to leave that town within a day, or they die of radiation. It's going to be a real thick radiation bomb. And on that day, America is going to blame Russia for having nuked Chicago. Russia didn't have anything to do with it. And Russia is going to get bombed by U.S. military in Moscow. And Russia is going to retaliate, bomb Huntington, West Virginia, where I am, and Washington, D.C., and New York City. And that's the first 2 or 3 hours of hell, a 7-year period of time that Jesus is going to turn his back on all mankind.
How do you know all this? How do you know all this?
It's in the King James Version of the Bible. If you could interpret, you would know. It's in the King James Bible. I'm speaking from Jesus, whom said, "It is time." I'm speaking from Jesus, who you all saw on August 25th back in 205. He said, "Tell the vision." That's the Holy Spirit of Jesus. I'm not speaking from an imagined Jesus that's a gas cloud in my imaginations, and I can make up stuff and say it's Jesus. You'll believe it.
Okay, so
I'm talking about the one that appeared and said, "Tell the vision," and said, "Tell the vision, you shall not need the mark. Tell the vision, you shall be without."
Okay,
mark.
so I'm a little confused because JH asked a good question here. You're talking about a bomb that's going to be in a Volvo, and you said that came from the Bible. So
Yes.
The Bible says the word Volvo?
The Bible says the word wheel in the wheel, the color of beryl. Now, the color of beryl is green. The wheel in the wheel, that's the way Jesus told Ezekiel to describe it.
Okay, so how did you what
I
gave
met the
you?
guys. I saw it. I saw the device with my
So
own
what-
eyes, and I did approach authorities about it, and they told me they'd arrest me if I kept bothering them about it. So.
Well, I gotta say I hope you're wrong because that doesn't seem very fun. But that's very very interesting. And is there anything that we can do about this?
No, it's in the Bible. It's going to happen no matter what. You can't stop it.
So how do you know what's in the Bible is what is going to happen?
I believe. I really believe the works of the Bible. I'm not
Why though?
I'm not a very good actor or a worker, but I know that the words are true in it.
How?
I've been given a gift to interpret that I particularly don't want, because when I tell it the way it really is, I'm hated and no one wants to listen.
Oh, I hear that. If you watch the stream, I
get, "Are you on your meds?" a lot. I get that from a lot of people.
Super surprising. This is big stuff, So,
But
but
the evidence that I have that what I say is true is I'll say, Jesus, right now, by your power, would you gently knock inside of everyone's mouth watching this show 2 times, then 3 times, then 4 times, or just 2 times, then 3 times, just like talk, talk, and then talk, talk, talk in your mouth, a knock from Jesus Christ. And that's the only proof that I can give to you that's
wait, you heard
evidence.
you heard a knock knock in your mouth?
No, I just asked Jesus to knock knock in yours.
Oh, so I'll be waiting for that then. So
Okay.
So do you ask him to do it right now, or is he just going to do it eventually?
I was in this minute.
All right. So it is so it is now 11:09. So I may very well be turned into a believer within the next minute. So
a long time ago, my head was lifted up as I slept, and I was set before the judgment seat of Jesus Christ. And when I am set before the judgment seat of Jesus Christ, I didn't see Jesus. He took the scales off of my eyes and allowed me to see my soul and what I had done to it by my sins. That's what being set before the judgment of Jesus Christ really is. And what I saw with my eyes was potted holes, dead ashes of a dead gray color, none of it clean, none of it snow white or baptized, all dead gray. A pearl, the Holy Spirit of Jesus, I did see in my bowels, just below my stomach, a pearl of light that was snow white. And that is the Holy Spirit of Jesus Christ.
So
that pearl was another pearl. And all the ashes, there wasn't a dry place on them. There was it was saturated with a clear and clean oil. So that's what I saw many years ago. And I asked Jesus to show everybody their souls on 12 different nights recently. 4 nights, then 4 nights, and then 4 nights in a row, so that everyone could see their soul before the judgment seat of Jesus as they slept in the privacy of wherever they were taking bed. And
everybody's seen their soul already?
Well, no one's going to say anything about it. But if the soul was dead gray ashes, it explains to me why everybody sees all of the angels and hears them speak and says not, and doesn't mention it as though they're in a spirit of sleep. For if the soul is ashes, it is these things: a spirit of sleep. The wages of sin is death. Their names blotted out of the book of life. Not baptized, not anointed. The ashes are like the dung of a demon, like the dung of Allah, a frog head. So that explains to me why no one is saying anything about seeing all the angels worldwide and saying nothing as though they don't even exist. It's really
so let's back up a little bit. Let's back up a little bit, because I'm an atheist, so I was brought up Catholic, but I don't have a belief in this stuff. And if I'm wrong, and I would love to be corrected. I'm not one of these guys who happens not to believe in God and is angry at people who do believe in God or anything like that. I am interested in the truth and of reality. So if there is a God, if there is a Jesus Christ, if all of this is true, I would love to be able to access this with every ounce of seriousness. I'm not joking. How can you determine that all these things that you are seeing and hearing are in fact tied to our reality?
Well, he said he'd reveal the mystery of the Holy Spirit.
Because but he also said that he would knock in my mouth within the next minute, and it's now 11:13, and I was listening, but I didn't feel or hear anything. So
Okay. Well, you say.
well, but
he also,
wait, not but wait, because you just said that you asked Jesus to do that, and Jesus would do it, or Jesus told you he would do it. So did Jesus lie to you, or I'm just confused.
I asked him to do it. It's his decision whether he does or not. He's God. There is no other God beside him. I just asked him.
Really? How do you know? How do you know that one?
I didn't command him to do it. I asked him to, and he either says yes or he says no. And if he said yes, it was done.
Okay, so I guess he said, yeah, I guess he said no. I didn't. And my mouth is, you can hear it right in the. But so obviously, you can't command God. But then, why is he hiding from me? The reason that I'm an atheist is being brought up Catholic. I saw some inconsistencies and then dedicated years of my life to determining, okay, I need to figure this out because I need to make sure that I'm doing God's will, that I'm following Jesus Christ's teaching, and that I can get into heaven. And then through that study, I was able to see, there's a lot of inconsistencies and none of this makes sense. So how can I how can I go back to believing something? What can I use that can supersede all of the work that I've done previously?
That's really between you and Jesus Christ. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming up and giving us the warning about the green Volvo. I hope
hell begins that day, and there's not going to be any more Washington D.C. And what will come after that will be that mark of the beast. It will be called the Omni, OMNI. And Satan is going to type into a little computer a huge monetary number that does not exist. Enough that everyone taking the barcode, the Omni, will get an account of $32,523 to be branded. It'll be a laser print of a barcode, either here or on the right-hand wrist. And you can't go into any stores if you don't have the Omni. And it is the 666. It's going to be really bad because China's coming from the Pacific coast and they're going to destroy every state capital in America. 4 nukes per city where there's a state capital government. There's not going to be in America anymore. Once the hell begins, America will be the first nation to fall because every one of you did see Jesus. Even the ministers in the pulpits deny they saw him. On August 25th, 2005, he said it is time. On November 5th, 2005, he said it is time. On February 22nd, 2006, he said it is time. And he came 7 times and appeared to all people, all nations. And he said, tell the vision and you shall not need the mark. Tell the vision you shall heal without money. No time to talk, Allah. And you want war. And the time that he said you want war was a year ago, last November, a year ago, November 21st. And he began turning his back on mankind that day.
So now, you give. I want to. I'm sorry to cut you off, Wesley.
Let me say this then. This might help.
Okay, go ahead.
If you heard a voice in your head that said, "I shall turn and toss you violently like a ball," and you were paralyzed in your sleep as though there were an electricity coursing through you, and it lasted for just a moment, I shall turn and toss you violently like a ball. And if it happened on October 10, 2005, that was Satan. And on March 31st, if it told you don't tell the vision, that was Satan.
Gotcha. All right. Well, lots of great info there. I'm not sure what I can really trust, but I'll definitely be on the lookout. And I thank you for coming up and warning all of us. And hopefully, if you are correct, then we'll be able to avoid a little bit more of the evil than otherwise. I
Well,
gotta
he's
be
gonna
honest.
send
I
me-
don't know if I 100% believe all of this is happening, but if it does, right before we go down, I want to bring you right back up here and tell you I'm sorry and that you are right about everything.
Yeah, I'll come and visit you. I'm gonna actually, Jesus is going to send me to visit every one of you to tell you the
Beautiful.
vision and ask you to see.
Any last words for the people? The floor is yours.
Sure. I saw a black shoe on a foot. It means why? And that black shoe on that foot was cut off. I did see that in a dream from Jesus. And that foot cut off that Jesus showed to me, it means that I fail you when I do not forgive anything that you do against me. And when I fail you, I fail Jesus. And I saw two creatures and a crooked path of circle saws spinning by themselves that were made of silver and gold and were rusted. The spinning means that I failed Jesus doing magic, wizardry, sorcery, and witchcraft. And the buzzing means I failed Jesus by cussing and speaking ill of my brother and having impure thoughts. And the square pit was in front of them, and no one was dead in the pit. And I did see a man's head missing half of his skull. Half of his brains were gone, but he wasn't dead, and he wasn't bleeding. And no one in the pit was bleeding, and none were dead, and none were whole. And I did see orange red in the middle of the lower half of dark green leaves on palm trees. And they were on the right side of the
Sorry again to cut you off, Wesley. We do got to end the show. Thank you so much for coming up. Like I said, make sure you hit the subscribe button and come back, and hopefully you'll have some more to teach us on the next stream. Everybody, let's say thank you to Wesley, and you have a good one, buddy. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Okay.
Take care.
What the fuck?
See, you don't have to be disrespectful to people. I don't believe one word that Wesley just said, but he clearly does. And I do not know what he does or doesn't know. He may be 1,000% correct about everything he just said. Probably not. But notice how, again, I'm the atheist. I'm not the one yelling at people like Henry. I'm not the one getting angry at people like Wesley. But yet when I simply say the things that come to my head, I get all this bullshit for it. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Tyler Smith. Welcome. Said I've seen Dexter. I will keep for the tableaus. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what I think Wesley was saying. And Wesley, if you're still here, again, I do appreciate, you coming up and talking to us. I do not mean to make fun of, what it is that you believe. I just don't share those beliefs. And said, hope I have enough time to see that hot Israeli temporary doctor I met at the last physical. Maybe before the Volvo. That's our new rally cry. That's the new shirt. The Indian Jesus before the Volvo. JH said he'll come visit your burning corpse in pity. Yeah, right. Oh man. So this went left. But I think it really is still in the same vein of what people believe, how you know, because notice I addressed him the same way that same indie film. Again, Wesley, I'm serious. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you talked to us, and he gave the opportunity. He was much nicer than Henry. Who do you think's ideas were more out there? Wesley or Henry? Santic, what do you think?
I mean, out there, Wesley, but this just goes back to the thing where people with high IQs usually are the ill-tempered ones in discussions, because people who don't have high IQs don't even care about it. They just do whatever they want anyway.
I got to disagree with you there, because I don't think it has anything to do with IQ. I think it has to do with how you treat people. Wesley was a nice person.
That too, but like
Henry was not nice.
I don't know how you.
And it's often the people who don't know how to articulate their thoughts and feelings. Those are the people that get angry. You got to be able to navigate this stuff. These are the people that you know, when you ask, what is 19? What does being 20 have to do with the... Our son says, what did we just watch? We just watched somebody who's more out there than Henry have a nicer conversation with me than Henry could. That's what we just watched. JH says, Wesley was super crazy, but super respectful. He didn't seem low IQ, just crazy. I agree. He just seems out there. And again, if we're going to be honestly agnostic about all of the things that we don't really know, he's probably very wrong, but you don't know that for sure. You don't know that for sure. So anything to add to psychology? I have a degree in psychology, not psychiatry. The one is medical and one is not. It's a bachelor's. But Wesley, I hope you understand that we are happy that you shared with us. I just because we don't share that view, and I don't necessarily take your words as the truth that you know what's going to happen. That doesn't mean that I don't respect you as a person, and that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to believe those things. Any film says 5% chance Wesley is right, I'm with that. I'll give him 5. And what a stark difference between how that conversation with Wesley went versus how it went with Henry. And it all comes down to how you treat other people. Learn who they are, and then you can judge the shit out of them. Doesn't seem like too much time. Wesley says, it is important to know what I told you. No fraud minister will tell. Like I said, I'm keeping that there. As of right now, I don't believe that the Bible is a historical document. So I don't really think that any kind of message from the Bible is relevant to this day and age. But I could be very wrong. It says being anointed does not mean having cash. Well, I don't have cash.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do not have cash. So, I thank you, Wesley. Seriously, I don't know if there could have been a more poignant person to come up and show how people of differing opinions and differing views can get along and have the conversation. That's all we're trying to do here, guys. That's all we're trying to do here. Sanzik, giving you the floor. Last words for the people. Let them have it.
All I have to say is that how do we know we're not on hell on earth already?
In video editing.
Huh?
In video editing.
Oh. How do we know we're not in hell already?
No, I said video editing.
Yeah, what about it?
Tell them that you do it.
And I don't really do it. I do basic video editing, not really anything good.
I tried. All right. Thank you, brother. All right. So, holy fucking shit. I did not expect that to go there. But, again, everything happens for a reason, right? And I think it is extremely poignant to show how the difference between the conversation between me and Wesley and the conversation between me and Henry. I would happily have a conversation with Wesley any day of the week. Now that we've done, like I said, I'm a man of my word. If Henry were willing to come up and have this conversation, then I would have let him up, but not really in the mood to talk to him ever again. But if Wesley wants to come back up, Wesley, you are always welcome. He says, I suppose some CGI artists making movies saw the vision too and made the goblins in Gringotts near exactly like the two creatures in the vision from Jesus, one cutting off the foot. Don't know what that means. But hopefully Wesley will be back to explain it to us next time. Guys, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I know this one was a little bit more self-contained and had a little bit to do more about me rather than the world outside. But it's my channel. I'll do whatever the hell I want. And I would really love if you guys have not hit the like button. Come on, hit the damn like button. And if you enjoyed this and you would like to see more, you can just hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. And the next time I'm here, so will you. And the party is on. And Wesley's going to be here. He says, see you next time. Wesley, I'm going to hold you to that. I really hope to see you on Wednesday evening. I'll be here 8 p.m. If I can get to 500 subscribers, when I have work, I can let you guys know when I'm going to be late. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, you can always find me here. In the description, the party continues. I don't die once I leave here. You can hit me up in Discord. The Discord server is up and running. We got a bunch of people. We got a he said, I will brush my tooth. Make sure we get that and next time Jesus comes a knocking, it's nice and ready for him. And the Discord's starting to really get there. We got more people in. We're starting to talk about more. Sketchy, I want to. You said something before, and I'm not just letting that sit. So I'm gonna hit you up right after this because I don't like that you just said that and left it there, and then I didn't get a chance to really talk to you too much tonight. See, it's a party. It's a party. So join the Discord. We are 24/7, just hanging out, talking about stuff, sharing shit. Also in the description. Also running across the bottom of the screen, them support links, guys. Come on. Unlike Darshan, I am not monetized yet. So I am doing this out of the goodness of my heart because I believe that I truly do believe that there is something that I am here for. There's a reason that I'm here. There's somebody out there who needs to hear what I'm going to say, what Wesley's going to say, what Santic is going to say, what JH is saying, whatever. That's why I do this. But I still have bills. So help me out. Hit that Cash App. But even if you don't want to do that, it is completely free. Completely free to like, to comment, to subscribe and ring the bell, to share with your friends, to comment. You can do all of that stuff for free. But even if you don't want to do any of that, you just want to sit at home and think about how great this channel is and how awesome I am, you could do that too. Until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed the party. I am your host, Lech, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.